Potřebuji ostříhat už. Mě všechny holky říkají, že s dlouhýma vlasama jsem hezčí, ale kámo, legit já vypadám jako květák, prostě to... Já nevím, jak se to těm holkám může líbit, prostě toto. Co to je, vole? Jak se to těm holkám může líbit, halo? LeBlanc. Jo, ne? Veny, co? Jako Maty má taky mega dlouhé vlasy, hej? Wukong LeBlanc. Jo, ne. Maty má zakázáno se stříhat. Tak to už chápu. Maty je taková subinka v tom vašem vztahu, že jo? Ty jsi alfička a Maty je subinka. Bez tak ho peguješ. Wukong LeBlanc Renekton. Skarn, jo ne. So far, the priority has just been taking away some of the comfort picks that we've been seeing R7 leverage. So how will R7 respond? I think Aurora would be a good ban here. Instead, the Orianna taken away. So Orianna, okay. A couple of jungle bans and that Renekton as well. Such an easy, a blind pick top. Aurora first pick is a possibility. Co tam je? Vi open, Aurora je open, Ziggs je open, Ashe je open, Rumble je open. Je to hodně open. Jax first pick, ty píčo. Ježišmarja, ty vole. Ty vole. Jax first pick. Si pikne Gnara, ne? Do Jaxa, nebo co pikne? Sante. Holy moly. No tak sami jde Gnar vám trik, víš jak. Sante, tak Ashe Ziggs. Já bych piknul Vi Ziggs normálně, proč to nikdo nepikuje Vi Ziggs, když je to OP? Vi Ziggy, Poppy, ok. On reálně proč nemohl hrát Poppy to proti Jaxovi, to counteruje Jaxovi, to fakt. Lucian, Nami, pro Titánka, Lucians so far here at Worlds. Question is, will they pair it up alongside the Nami if they do lock that in? Poppy, the flexibility that you have already getting a lot of value playing into both a Lucian and a Jax. You have to imagine that Nami's going to come alongside. Dneska neděle, actually. We've been seeing this a little bit so far at Worlds. Hrajeme dneska ty... Máme dneska ty hry s tím, s Heizetem, s Flaganem a Zerinem? Nebo se to nedomluvilo? Lucian, Nami, Jax. Protože Herrin teď píše, tak co dneska pánové do Dale Duff jsou skupiny. Jak to máme vidět my? Nevím. Syndra, Poppy, Xante. Playins a couple of worlds ago as well in jungle, but then it kind of fell out as soon as we got into the main stage. Because you know, Knight used to be an Echo one. So I'm hoping, but we'll have to wait and see. Is the Sejuani now banned away from Karyoka? The Nautilus going to be taken away as well. Makes a lot of sense. Pain Gaming can limit a lot of those engaged supports. Rel may very well be on the docket next, alongside the Leona. Both viable options, but when you look at what Lions has prioritized, I imagine the Rel is what we're going to see come through. Yeah, Rel makes a lot of sense as ban here from Pain Gaming alongside the Nautilus, of course. I wonder where Rainbow Seven will go with their bot lane. You can look for something aggressive. We've already seen Seo play the Lucian, play the Draven at Worlds. So Kalista, Nautilus, really okay. Trying to match head to head against Akali, Sejuani. The option as well to go scaling and just get out of that lane. Lane swap early. Get level 3 on your support and your AD carry. Kalista, the second ban, remove some of that engage potential. The range with the Fate's Call at level 6 for the Kalista, very powerful. It looks like that Seo doesn't play who I was expecting to come through here. I think it was a very safe blind. Zaya, Poppy do Lucian, Nami. Whoa. What the fuck? An interesting bot lane for sure.
Víte, i víte, co máte dělat. XDD, jestli to bude popy support, no. Povím, může být jungle. A hry Jax, Lucian na mě, okay.
It's not good. I mean, I'm honestly surprised that so many Aries are kind of getting away with the matchup. I feel like it can be so oppressive from a good Syndra player. But once you get level 6, you have a lot of potential gank setup. So he needs to get a strong jungler to pair alongside it. When we look at Pain Gaming's composition, they don't really have a lot of engaged tools. So they've decided we want to round things out with the Maokai. We want to have that large AoE, good objective control, good setup. And as we turn our attention back to R7, it looks like that Poppy is going into the support position. I really think they should consider keeping it in jungle and picking something like the Rel. I would prefer the Rel. I think it would give them a lot more team fighting. There's the Rakan. Now Lions, this man is very familiar with Rakan. When you kind of look at his all-time, he has a lot of experience on the champion.
Yes, his third most played.
Yeah, and it's something that I think gives them a lot of comfort, and that's ideally what you need coming into this first
game. Lucian nám je dobrá do Zajarakan, se divím, že pikli Zajarakan. Kudlo, díky za 4, děkuju. Maokai, Jax a hry Lucian na mě. Sante, Poppy, Syndra, Zajarakan. Jako Lucian by měl vyhrát botlane, Lucian na mě by měli vyhrát botlane a Lucian by pak měl být v midgameu mega insane z hry. Myslím si, že Pain Gaming mají lepší draft. Řekl bych 65-35 Pain Gaming. Možná 70-30. Lucian na mě bude fakt huge tady tu hru. Nebo měli by být huge.
But knowing how these teams play,
it's going to be fighting.
It's going to be fighting.
It's going to be fighting. I would actually, looking at it more, I'd love a lane swap coming out from R7. I think the ability to put the Lucian Nami not in a position where they can't.
Koukám, že všichni lokry čtou chat stejně. Co jsem nepřečet? Ve středu čtvrtek a jo. Honzíko, já jsem se díval na sázkový kurzy, jestli si tam hodím nějaký kurzíček. Takže až ve středu čtvrtek? OK.
As a region, they have never made it to World Swiss stage or to the main stage of Worlds. They've been close a few times in the past.
Já jsem se divil prostě, Honzo, že jako Herrin v tom, jak se to jmenuje ta skupina. Dylan Dawson, ten Office, napsal, že chce něco dneska hrát. Já jsem myslel, že hrám dneska. Neříkal jsi dřív, že nesázíš? No já nesázím, já jsem se jenom tak jako díval na kurz. Jen tak jako, víš jak, já to průzkum trhu dělám. Jako borci, jsem 10 z 11 typů správně za 3 dny. Tak samozřejmě, že se začnu dívat na kurz, když mám 10 z 11 predikcí správně. A všechny ty kurzy byly tak 1,80 plus. Čak. Včera mě to někdo včera správně vysvětlil. On mi řekl, počúvaj ty bagaňa, nějaký rest divák zase, počúvaj ty bagaňa, ty jsi tak chytrý v League of Legends, ale tak stupid IRL. Ty tady máš 10 z 11 typů správně a ty nesázíš, ty koko, ty bys mohl byl milionár přes Worlds. Tak říkám, něco je na tom pravdy, pane divočákos.
And I don't want to set expectations that it's going to be chaotic right from the start. I feel like when we enter the mid game and
hraje dobře ten Lucian na mě. Hrajou dobře, fakt hrajou dobře. Tuhle linku. Ani by aj měli vyhrát hodně, akorát netrefil 2 kvéčka, měl by začít s dvojitým Včkem raději. To se nedá mysnout. Ale hrajou dobře spacing, mega dobře. Tady to bude, kámo, tady to bude jako zajímavá botlane. Oni hrajou fakt dobře, spacou agresivně, tradou agresivně, takhle si budou tradovat a Zajarakan prohrajou. Dobře abuzou double heal, dvojitýho Včka. Mira, díky šefe, děkuju. To rád slyším, že jsem ti zvedl náladu. Tady to bude game over botlane. Soon. Tohle je level 2 už, kámo, prostě. Tohle. No, nemá potion, půl HP. Lucian nami má potku a cookie. Ty vole.
Very briefly makes her stationary. Yeah, it's a self-stun. Right? Yeah, and it's very easy for Syndra to punish that whether
Pane
with her Q
bože.
or with her stun or with her W.
Pane bože. Oh.
Ignite going down as well onto Cheetan. Had to pop the barrier and the heal. Two sums for one. The blade core.
Tady to naintil trošku. Ale teď bude mít sustain a cookies. Ty webku níž, já sorry, zapomínám.
Started with a clear up towards the top side, moving towards bot, now in a good position to cover. But the Maokai, you imagine, going to be doing the same thing. Karyoka hovering off in the distance. TP going to be invested mid from Jinquedo already. But everyone's out of pots. Everyone's out, except for Curry, who's full health.
Oni tady sustain war vyhrajou, že on nami bude healovat Luciana. Ale divím si tady, že ten Maokai je tak late. Ale mají wardy, tady můžou klidně zahrát. Proč má Zaya Clients? Halo? Oni hrajou Zaya Rakan do Lucian nami a ještě ty vole hrajou Clients? To je sus?
And although Oddie is even in terms of CS, he is a
Asi
captain
Jax,
of
to
his
je
own
irrelevant.
jungle. He took a scuttle crab,
To je spíš Maokai a hry, ale to dodge ultimátkou svojí. Nebo jako Rainbow Seven jediný dobrý hráč je Summit. Všichni ostatní hráči byli bad. Tak, freezenout a resetnout. OK, good. Ještě měl cancelnout reset trošičku later, aby dostal ten toho... Jaj, on to posral, ten Lucian. Měl cancelnout reset later, nebo měl začít, jo, aby dostal XP, viděl jsi? Aby nemysnul XP skoro vůbec.
A summoner that's going to do too much unless you get CC'd, right? So your anticipation is, I'm going to dodge the bubble anyway. I don't have a barrier against Cheetan and Curry. The cleanse will be good later on when
Fakt se divím cleanse toho, že Zaji. To je mega bad.
Really, all it's going to do is get you out of that Aquaprism or maybe a slow, which can sometimes change a fight, but rarely.
True. I will say though that it's going to make Azaya, who's already pretty difficult to lock down, even harder.
Oh yeah, later on it's going to be so difficult.
Thanks to the ultimate as well. And as a champion, you love it when people are trying to dive on top of you. Jax, Ahri, Lucian, all these champions that want to try and close that gap, create this space to dive on top. I will say Ahri is one of the better champions if she can leverage Fog of War because of how quickly she can catch you off guard. But
mám tam asi udělaný jídlo, takže se potom dle najím.
Kind of what we talked about. Yeah. Things don't get chaotic for these teams in the laning phase. In fact, this is where I think we see some of the
nejlepší, nejhorší, Lucian nám ani není tak silná linka. A takhle vyhrávaj. Vidíš to? Jako tuhle hru jsem nevěděl, kdo vyhraje, nebo netušil jsem, kdo má velkou šanci vyhrát, ale potom, co jsem viděl Luciana do Zaya Rakan a viděl jsem level 1, jak tradujou, tak jsem věděl, že tady je trošičku jako defeat na botlane, který potom v midgameu bude důležitý, protože Lucian na Zaya Rakan není jako... Lucian Zaya Rakan není... Nebo jako Lucian nami není tak silný early game, oni jsou silní na dvou itemech nejvíc. Když máš Rapid Fire a první item... Co oni staví? Essence River Rapid Fire, když máš. Když máš dva itemy, tak je to insane OP.
The infamous INTZ getting the upset against EDG back in 2016. Then of course, I think we had Kaboom upsetting EU as
Alliance,
well. Yeah, Alliance, yeah.
Tin owns his Ari still. I have nightmares. As Karaoke is looking for a gank here, Vedi, in the bot lane. Cheetan level 6 as well has that culling the cleanse away from the Aqua Prism, but he's not back with a Bramble Smash. And there's first blood to PNG. Karaoke looking to make it to the flash away.
Tady měl Q flashnout, by the way, ten Maokai. A když on natahoval Qčko a viděl, že Rakan flashuje, tak to mohl flashnout a zabít. Tady by měli, tady to ještě můžu zabít, nebo otočit. Dodgenou Syndře stun, dívej. A on to posral hrozně ten. Maokai to měl otáčet. To nagrifovali a hlavně měl dodgenout stun s tím Maokajem, teda s tím Lušnem. Mega weird. A měli čekat deal a na Ahry. Měli čekat na Ahry, jakoby.
Will result in this bot lane wave, though, still being awkward. The timing from PNG was flawless. With a nice stacked wave, they set up for the dive, and before the level 6 can come through, they're able to execute and find themselves first blood. But they back in the brush in the lane, allowing for Kaney's roam to find value.
Tam, kdyby to jako otočili správně, kdyby jako Lucian držel distance, dodgenul, dívej tady Q a mohl flashnout a to Q by ho zabilo a pak by utekl s face rushem. Tady, kdyby se Lucian schovával někde tady a nechal to potankovat Maokai nebo Nami, tak vyhrajou, trhnou to a zabijou ještě podle mě Syndru nebo Rakana.
Find themselves 2 kills. Now, the good news for Seo is he did end up going mid and he caught a bit of farm, but you could see the discrepancy already being built. The good news for R7 is that their solo lane is things are going very well. Not quite sure what's been happening in the top lane, but Summit has steadily been building a nice advantage. He's got about a 2-wave lead. Meanwhile, in the middle,
Sante vyhrává do level 10 proti Jaxovi.
Looking to be very powerful with the Luden's companion.
Pak Jax začne vyhrávat na prvním itemu, od prvního itema.
Knew that he couldn't really impact the bot side, and then Kaney stays bot, pushes out an extra wave. Seo can back, or at least move across through the jungle here to get back to his normal lane. Got that solo XP as well, so he's back up to level 6, which gives him the Featherstorm. Obviously adds that extra defensive tool for the Xayah. But when we were talking about all those freezes coming out from Cheetan and Kuri, that's what comes out of it. That's what grows from those early freezes. Lack of experience.
No, ty vole, Warhammer proti BF Longsword. Aj, bot lane je over, guys. 83 CS proti 59 XDD. Je crazy.
With Rainbow 7 already having 3 of them, he's up in 1 minute's time, Vedi.
Question is, will we see a swap come through from either side to control them? Oh, stun. Nice bit of damage. The Luden's companion going to make this matchup so much harder.
Má flash? Nemá flash. Tady by měla být dead. Nemají damage actually. Interesting. Má Maokai dvojitý V? Nemá. Nemá. Wow. Nemají vůbec damage zatím. A hry potřebuje víc itemů, I guess. Jax taky.
R7 responding to the plays from Pain Gaming incredibly well. Nice bubble there.
Co dělají? Halo? Ta hra je disgusting boost.
Just a nice bait and switch, Seo.
Wow. 2 levely ahead na Lušnovi, wow, to je hrozně. Tady kdyby... A hra je fakt boosted, ale jako... Proč tam zůstal, halo? Co? Proč vyleze z toho bushu a proč tam...
A single overstep from Cheetan costs him a lot. The kill does go over to Leon's, but you know what? That's still damage done. A 1.2k lead overall for R7 now. As we turn our attention to mid lane, they're trying to punish the flash of the Syndra. This makes sense. But look at the return damage coming out from Kaney. Even though the root comes down, the ultimate...
On dal dvojitý Včko na miniona ten Maokai, aha. Wow, to je boosted.
The fact that Kaney was able to pick up kill after kill, it's going to do wonders for this R7 squad as PNG thinking that they can still go for something. The bubble will connect here as everyone starts to disengage. I don't think Curry really wanted much off the back of this, but Jinketo looking for a bit of a trade, gets stunned up. Leon's then gets to level 6, has the ultimate available, and then the follow-up through means that another kill goes over to the Syndra. 4-0-0 now. Merc Tread secured. I like the choice of boots when you're going up against the Maokai, the Nami, and
Lucian
the
je
Ahri as well.
furt
Also, you're so accelerated.
level
Do you
ahead.
really need to go Sork boots, right? Do you need that little bit of extra greed when you already have a Luden's companion complete and only a lost chapter and a little book for Jinkedo? Pain Gaming were able to pick up 3
Si chci jít pro jídlo, protože mám hlad, ale bojím se, že misnul teďka ten Drake fight. Po drakovi půjdu.
Jinkedo is pushing out bot. It looks like Seo is going to be the one to answer that. Can R7 get control over the river? At the moment, it's Karaoke with the first move in here. Kane cleared out the mid lane and now is coming across to secure this blue.
Summit continues to find advantages in the top lane 1v1, leveraging his experience to just become a powerhouse frontliner that's going to be difficult to deal with as the game continues. Now, if you're paying gaming, you need to be thinking, okay, right, obviously the Syndra's very strong, but trying to force her onto a side lane would be your best case scenario because she doesn't have the mobility and the safety that a side laner does, as Karaoke sets his sights on top lane.
Counter-Strike comes out. Summit does have the all-out, has the flash as well. Karaoke goes in with the twisted advance, and Summit's now trying to fight a 1v3 all-outs. But even through the Nature's Grasp, the charm connects. Jinkedo on the board for Pain Gaming. You give up the Drake for this, but Pain Gaming decided it was worth.
I mean, we just talked about the side lanes, and this is where I think Pain Gaming needs to try and play through, because the beauty of Ahri is that she has great setup. She can shadow laners, she can potentially shadow the Jax to look for picks onto Summit, or maybe she can work with Maokai to attack the Syndra in a side lane. Like, they have side lane options if they can gain that control. Funneling these plates is going to give them a nice advantage.
Wait. Kane is coming in here all on his own, so the charm immune.
Teďka si to tam poslal na Pain, ne.
Good scat of the week. Karaoke tanking the tower. Unleashed power will not be enough to bring down the tree. Summit TP
Je to nemám založený ještě.
the defenses of this tier 1.
The best thing about this whole sequence for R7 is that Seo was basically left untouched in the bot lane, able to secure as many plates as he could, able to get a lot of solo experience, while Cheetan was pushing in the mid lane and all this action was happening on the top side. Of course, the downside is you committed now both of your TPs, as Wiser was able to go back to base, secure the Drilling Force, and now he's TP'd towards the bot side of the map. We find ourselves 1-1 in Drakes, the Krups are now even, the neutral objectives are pretty much spread evenly across the board, and even though Pain Gaming have kind of been falling short in the mid and the top side of the map, the gold's still not something so significant that they can't turn this game around.
Yeah, 1,000 gold, the majority of it sitting on Kaney in the mid lane. He's going to try and answer Visor down towards this bottom side. And he'll be able to do it. Oddie coming across as well, just to make sure that Kaney was at no risk of being dived. We'll clear out some of this vision as well. The Rift Hold is available for either team, but really, you're looking at a pick before it, and Karaoke is looking at that pick in the top lane. Remember, Summit does still have the flash, will dash away from Jinkedo. The safety of the path maker there shown by Summit.
I think it's wise putting...
He's going back in. Jinkedo's going in as well with the Spirit Rush. Karaoke coming across. There's a twisted advance into the charm, into the knockback with the Bramble Smash. And meanwhile on the bot lane, R7 should be taking this tower. Nature's Grass coming out. Pathmaker still rooted. The culling not enough quite yet. Cheetan gets a lock in and he gets the kill to boot. A tower for tower exchange, but a kill alongside it for Pain.
A nice punish, and you called it, Medic. Summit just oversteps. He walks up for a trade that he shouldn't have tried to go for. Again, though, you see these cross maps coming through from R7 because Pain is kind of overstacking on one side of the map, allowing for R7 to at least exchange turrets elsewhere. But I like the fact that Pain Gaming are committing to this tier 2 in the top lane. They'll spread the gold evenly, but now R7 is looking for a collapse.
And Leon's is going to get slowed by the sapling and by that Bramble Smash. Celestial opposition taken off him, and because of that, Karaoke guarding well his mid and his bot lane. In the end, it was 2 towers for 2, a kill as well to Pain. The gold's still about 1,000 between the two teams, but because Pain Gaming were delayed on their reset, R7 get the time to set up around the Rift Herald. Karaoke could look for this. I'm not sure you really want to play into this, though. You don't have your ultimates, and you don't really have a way in. Oh, okay. A second I thought he was just going to blast cone over. Sapling coming down. Karaoke maybe just looking at the smite fight here. And he gets it!
Lul.
The keeper's verdict too late. Oddie found one.
Zatím se neměl obět, hej, borci.
Herald's eye as well couldn't defend, of course, because Leon's had just backed away. Cheetan dashing across the wall to put more pain into the back of Oddie.
Oddie didn't have smite!
Well, that's probably why he didn't win the smite fight, Benny.
4-0 Syndra s 2 itemama. Zmerk, ty kokot.
And says, thanks for the leash, buddy. I appreciate your time. Nice root comes out from Seo.
Má press dietek tentokrát Lucian, jo. Press dietek je lepší potom first strike nerfu.
Summit's got a flank position here. Curry, you got flash, you got heal. Summit can try and lock you up with the all out. There's the flash, quickness coming out from Leon's. A great bramble smash alongside the tidal wave will stop Leon's in his tracks. A little bit of an overstep by Curry, has to burn both his summoners and 2 ultimates to escape, but it was well played to navigate his way out of that situation.
Keep your eyes on the mini-map, Medic. Oh, that's a flash?
Jinkato a spirit rushed away as well. Flash for an ultimate exchange, the charm onto Oddie now. Seo looking for a reset. Curry taking a chunk, Nature's Grass coming out, but that's just going to be dodged away by everyone. Oddie able to escape with the root being eaten earlier on. And importantly, Pain Gaming secure the Razor Beaks, Benny. That's what the fight was for, obviously. Pain Gaming get them.
I mean, this was the chaos we were expecting.
Yes,
I mean, it started because Summit had been able to find a flank onto Curry, which I think in and of itself, good opportunity to go for a play. But then it ends up resulting in Pain saying, you know what, we can convert this into a play of our own. In fact, our observers are saying, no, it starts even earlier than that, because remember, the Herald gets yoinked away, no smite available for Oddie, means that the ultimate from Oddie wasn't used fast enough. And then what's crazy is no one ends up actually dying in that exchange. The Raptors do end up going down, but ultimately, a lot of summoners used. Dragon now in 10 seconds time. I thought that bot tower was going to fall in the exchange because Weiser was just left completely uncontested, but Summit was able to make it there in time. And now the Storm Surge completed for Kaney.
And the Lightning Jewel. Like, Kaney is so damn strong right now. Basically an item ahead of Jinkato. The second Drake of the game on the menu for R7.
Have you ever
what's up?
Gone up against a baseball machine?
No.
Well, imagine one.
Yes.
Just ramped up to 100s.
Okay.
That's going to be Kaney when she ults.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Syndra is going to do
mega
damage. As the Herald gets dropped in mid.
What?
Karaoke going in for the engage here. Goes in with a twisted advance.
Ten člověk je crazy. Máš štěstí, že Lucian je tak feednutý a že mají phase rush. A zabijou Malkaje. Tady by měli jenom prostě backnout, Pain a jsou v pohodě. Lucian tady bude hrozně huge za chvíli. Už je teďka 2 itemy dokonce.
Pain Gaming, they were able to secure mid. Summit oversteps again.
Rakan flash ult, tohle je bad. Tohle je bad. Flashli to strašně late. Ale nic toho nezískají, ne? Nic toho nezískají, jenom nemají summoner spely. Jo. Baron nic.
Results in Cheetan losing his life. 1-3-1 now on the Lucian. A great start, still very strong with the second item being completed, but he's the player that they can't afford to have caught, and with no summoners, that's only going to get easier for R7.
The risk for Pain Gaming now is like, how do you get onto Kaney? How do you get past the scat of the week? How do you get past the
force of the huge, 5-0-1 je huge, no.
Really, it's Jinkato finding a good spirit rush charm, or Karaoke going in, or Weiser flashing with a good counter-strike, because you don't really have superb long-range engage tools that can't be mitigated by someone like Summit.
Syndra je huge, 2K deal.
Well, I think the bigger thing is the Poppy.
Mají strašně moc magic resistů, ale zase oni prostě Lucian bude huge, kámo, nebo měl by baby huge, protože oni staví tolik magic resistů. To nechápu, že staví tolik magic resistů. Komu fandíš? Pain Gaming? Sedí mi víc.
We've talked about this on the LEC before, but Maokai is a pseudo engage, right? You provide a lot of zone control, and the Maokai ultimate can be an engage, but it's not a reliable way to start a fight.
A hry nebude moc champ, no, s těm magic resistem. Jo, Swiss, dneska se bude osovat Swiss, ne? Chat.
Pain Gaming have to have good vision control. This is why we talked about them needing to play.
Komu dávám late game? Late game. R7, ale ten late game je jako hodně late game, hej?
And then give the space for Cheetan to really unleash on the Lucian.
See how well Pain Gaming can navigate the next few moments. 2.5 minutes on the next Drake. You can see Karaoke once again. He's done this flank like 3 times this game. Keeper's verdict comes out, knocks him away, and even though the Nature's Grass hits, Oddie should be fine.
I like the fact that Oddie is just covering for Kaney.
Jack scaluje, teďka na 2 itemech začne jako reálně beatovat, teďka začne být jako hodně silný. Jack začne vyhrát proti Xantemu sidelane. A Harry se bojím, že Champ už jako reálně nebude nikdy. Lucian nám bude furt silná, má jako mají silný to, ale nemá flash, musí počkat na flash, už bude mít. Pokud ta hra bude mít 35 minut, tak vyhraje R7.
Get what gold they can.
35 minut a víc. Nebo jako takhle, vyhraje. Měli by vyhrát draft Vice, ale nikdy nevíš s těma týmama. S těma playing týmama.
Without the support of Odi, who is now there, recalling within, there should be the Void Staff secured. A 600 gold bounty sitting on Kaney as well, with Odi now completing the Abyss on
tak.
Yeah, they are so strong right now. 2 items on sale.
Ani ne 1000 goldy, v Syndra 3 itemy. 2 itemy na Xantovi, 2 itemy na Poppy, 2 itemy na AD, 2 itemy na botlane. Okay. Maka bude mít druhý item podle mě. Ano, má. Kenin Ruken je good tuhle hru. Za chvíli bude Last Whisper pro Luciana, to bude huge. Jax má taky 2 itemy. Třetí drak se spawnuje za 40 vteřin, ok.
You could argue that Pain Gaming just have more damage threats, given that they do have the Jax in the top lane. He's probably the champion you're most concerned about if you're R7, just because his ability to find flanks, his access to the backline isn't as limited, I would say. But again, like it really all comes down to how Odi plays the fights. Yeah. If Odi wants to, he can stop anyone getting onto Kaney. So as the next objective spawns, the thing I'm concerned about for Pain is the fact that they're gonna want to fight, and the setup is crucial. And you can see Kaney it's scary to face check, man. Syndra is strong, especially around towers, because if you overstep, she can stun you, kill you. Walking in the front door, stun you, kill you. And hell, you overstep on a mid lane, she'll stun you and kill you.
Těžký fighty, těžký
She's
fighty.
really good at doing that.
And you see Cheetan just trying to put some damage back.
Tak.
Leon's looking for that flank position.
Tady ten Rakan by měl dostat catch, nedostal. Lucian by měl dashovat na Rakana, anebo na Zaya Syndra. Xante je takové jako...
And the Drake has been begun by R7. Leons and Summit holding alongside this control ward. Nature's Grasp.
Zajímavá ult, tady by mohli one-shotnout někoho. Jo, ten je one-shotnej, ne? Dobrý flank. Ale flashli na Luciana, ale tady by měli zabít Syndru a asi Jax možná vyhraje potom. Proč Ahri nezabila Syndru, halo? WTF? Ježíš, ta Ahri! Pane bože! Pane bože, ta Ahri prvně nezabije Syndru, když může s flashem, a pak misne charm. Ona misne charm na Syndru, která je stunuta. Ty vole. Pane bože, ta Syndra je hrozně, teda Ahri je hrozně bad. Wow. Wow. Syndra použila flash a všechno na to, aby zabila Luciana a neměla žádný cooldowny. Má 300%, má 30% HP a Ahri má 2 stacky ultimátku flash a nezabije jej. Rakan blokoval hovno, Rakan neblokuje hovno, on zabije Syndru, ta Ahri. Si ukážu. Má to odhodil kvéčkem, ne, má to hodil kvéčkem do ní, do Ahri. To nemohl misnout s tou Ahri, to nešlo. To je legit booster, sleduj. Sleduj, jo? Tady ten start je dobrý. Tady by měli one-shotnout Poppy. Tohle je good. Tady one-shotnout Poppy. Tady to trošku přehání Lucian, jde melee range do Rakana, to na intil Lucian. Ale sleduj, furt tady. Použila všechno, co může. 2 charmy. Tady, kdyby pokračovala dalším dashem in, tak zabije tu Syndru na 100%. Ahri by zabila Syndru na 100%. Teď sleduj. Nokne to do ní.
it doesn't connect, which means that the stun is able to come through, connects onto 2 members, and even if they do get that kill onto Kaney, does it suddenly turn the fight?
To je kurva. Lucian to zahrál mega bad, tohleto fight, a Ahri to zahrála mega bad tenhle fight. Tím prohráli hru reálně. Nezabije CD, Ahri má menší cooldowny než Syndra a zabije. Nezabil by. Zabil by. Jak by Ahri, které se vrátí k Včko, dvojitý Včko, Ečko, během 3 vteřin, reálně stačí jenom ultnout forward a čekat 2 vteřiny na cooldowny, nezabil Syndru. Jak Syndra nemá flash, Ahri má flash. Čet na 99% by zabil tu Syndru. Ale prostě je bad. Šetří si flash do další hry. Ult taky. Tak jsem 11 z 13 teď. Tak jsem si myslel, že Pain vyhrál. Tak já si jdu pro jídlo.
They will change the narrative. They will change the story of aggression coming out from the side of Pain Gaming. From the bot lane, they could have just gotten the kill and then based, you know, instead of just sitting in the brush, allowing for the Syndra, to come bot and find those opportunities. And you're going to see the Syndra added to the ban pool. So clearly the focus has shifted towards denying Kaney those options, the Blanc, the Syndra. Will we see a third mid lane ban? No, the Renekton's still going to be taken away. They do not want to allow for that blind pick.
Skarner and Yone, the same for R7 here. Alongside that, they banned Ariana, and there we go. 3 mid laners removed from the pool. Wukong has been let through. We'll see if Oddie decides that's his cup of tea today, or whether something else comes out of the jungle. Obviously, Oddie very experienced on the Wukong, very confident on that champion. It is looking like, I mean, it's already locked. Jack's first pick once again.
So why not just
on by vyhrál sidelane, kdyby prostě ta hra byla delší.
The Cassante and the Poppy. It worked for you in game 1. I want to see a shift in the AD carry priority though. I didn't like the Xayah. I think that it didn't give you that much control in the mid lane. Ooh, they're going to shift over to the lane. They want to guarantee a control mage in the mid lane. This will give... I guess they were worried about it being taken away from them, because I like what they did before where they locked it on 3. You know, because then if Pain Gaming wants to lock in their mids, at the very least they're going to be doing it blind. But I guess they're under the assumption that the priority bot lane for Pain Gaming is what's going to come through. And now with the Lucian here, you can still ban out these mids because you know the Nami's going to follow up.
Yeah, the third most picked for Jinkedo this year.
So not
too surprising that R7 like, okay, you want a control mage, you're probably going to go towards that Quay. Corki and Azir, the top 2. And then Ari sitting in number 4. Lucian, Nami already locked in, the Poppy and the Hui for R7.
There's a Cassante.
And there we go.
Come as a surprise.
Very similar first set of picks for both teams. In fact, exactly the same for Pain Gaming.
Now, reminder that
tak, Hui, Xante, Pop. Hui může být AD carry by the way, ale ne to Lucianami. To je blbý.
We imagine that they're going to look to continue banning away mid laners. You can take away things like the Tristana, you can take away the Akali. There's a lot of options for you to limit that pool even more. They're taking their time with this one. They really want to think about what they want to remove.
And do you ever get rid of the Ahri here just because it's comfort for Jinkedo? But there's the Akali that we've already seen here at Worlds.
Ryan, čauko.
I don't think Ahri really can win the push matchup into the Hui. I feel like Hui, as soon as he gets knocked out, it's just farm, as you say. Maybe a Tristana, a possibility. Nautilus once again taken away by Pain Gaming. They went for this last time as well, so...
If you wanted to target Jinkedo specifically, Talir is something you could consider getting rid of.
Yeah.
Something that he is very comfortable on, one of his all-time better champions. But instead they're going to take away the Vi. They don't want to allow that dive threat access onto the backline. That does mean that the Sejuani is open though. I think the Kalista makes sense. Seo has already shown that he's not willing to play the Jhin. Instead, he's going to go for the Xayah. I don't love this.
Yeah, the thing about it was they got put behind early, and it should have been more punishing than it was.
Oh, yes.
Kaney coming across and getting a double kill is the only thing that saved that bot lane. And on the way, you can still move. You get early-ish push if you can get that lost chapter, but not at level, you know, at level 6, I think it was, that he moved across earlier on. There's the Sejuani non-committal engage again from the jungle for Carioca. Not quite locked in yet, but expectations are Sejuani with a Jax, with a Nami. That's a very powerful combination. And there's the Talia that you were talking about, Veri.
I wonder if they'll decide to lock it in. They're hovering over the Ahri right now. The only reason why I like the Talia more is because I think it actually has better setup with the Sejuani, because both, I think, combo into each other nicely, whereas the Ahri is very reliant on that charm. So I think you just have a little bit more...
Tak, co tady máme? Zaya zase a hry do tohohle. Sejuani, ok. Zaya Rakan do tohohle.
I mean, it's basically the salty run back, Medic. There's a shift in the jungle for Carioca as he moves away from the Maokai and into the Sejuani. Sejuani Ahri is a slightly better matchup. I prefer Sejuani.
Zaya Rakan, Lucian nám to bude zase vyhrávat. Popis Sejuani, popis Santa Heavy.
However, I think R7 still have the same strengths that they had before.
No, zase mají lepší draft, mají prostě Pain Gaming. Tady jde o to, jestli to zase na inti nebo ne. Jaký mám skóre typu? Mám pocit, že 11 ze 13. Dneska jsem 0-1. Zase Zaya Rakan je lehčí tu zahrát v midgameu a v lategameu. Je to dobrý do Jaxa a hry. Tady prostě ale Lucianami by měli fakt vyhrávat mnohem víc proti tý Zaya Rakan, no.
We overstepped, we overcommitted, we made mistakes, but we compete this bot lane 2 versus 2. We feel like we're better, so give us this matchup once again, and we'll get those advantages once again.
And they did manage to get advantages in the early game. For Pain Gaming, it's do or die. A matchup seen as an easier matchup to qualify for Swiss. No PSG, no 100 Thieves. Of course, Rainbow R7 were the team to put 100 Thieves on the other side of the bracket. And here, R7 are 1 game away from the main stage at Worlds. For the first time in the history of the Liga Latinoamerica, they can be the history makers near an evolutionary stage for the league as well. Of course, America's coming in next year with LLA being combined with other leagues in that region. For R7, it would be a wonderful topper to 10 years of this rivalry. For Pain Gaming, I look to return to the world stage for the first time since 2015 for them, and for the first time since 2016 for the CB LOL.
Byl call z typáče, proto byl tip off, co?
Confidence is crucial, right?
Jaký call z typáče?
Previous R7 game, and that's like a big game for them, you know, especially for either of these teams qualifying for the main stage. It's only getting harder from here.
It's true.
And truthfully, the reason why these regions and these teams have struggled to qualify for the main stage for so long is because the competition has only been made harder. The format shifts, the introduction of 4th seeds and 3rd seeds into the playing stage from all of the major regions has increased the caliber of competition. And so for R7 and Pain Gaming to have this opportunity to play against each other to qualify is reminiscent of the old international wildcard qualification tournaments that we used to have, and how these teams and regions often found their way into the main stage in the past.
Once again, we see Titan and Curry gaining control of this bot lane bush.
Dobrý bot control bush, dobrý trady zase opět.
Clear out that ward as well.
The script is different.
Yes.
The ward staying alive.
It's such a difficult lane matchup to play, right? We've talked about the sustaining game.
Nemůžu najít tuto hru. Pain Gaming proti tomu.
Curry healed himself and didn't quite connect with the ebb and flow as well, so
tam je jenom 5 žít za 100 tips na ty sportu už. Jak to?
And that's the pressure that you can put on some area as well, just ticking over that little bit of extra damage. Titan and Curry will get that level 2 off this minion, and Leon's and Sail just respecting that back all the way away.
Now,
2.50 na Pain Gaming, ty pičo.
Ahri just doesn't have push early. Sorry, she doesn't. It would be nice if she did, but she
nemám založený účet.
In terms of early trading, Quay actually has a lot of tools in his kit to be able to trade effectively. One of the new, I say new, but one of the combos I recently learned about on Quay is you actually do a WE, where you get the empowered autos.
Okay,
you
yeah.
combine it with the more, the clasp, I think it's EE.
Yeah.
And it's a really effective way to snap apply the passive, which is a quick trade without expending the Q, which means that then as they're running away, you can then hit them with the Q on top of that.
Yeah. You also get the mana back from Stirring Lights, right? The empowered autos, so...
On top of that, you can also just do like a QE combo to push the wave, and if the
Já se divím, že R7 chtějí hrát jako Zajarakan do toho Lucianami.
It's obnoxious for Ari, isn't it?
Just jako pikou do toho.
It was off the back of Kaney really in game 1 that R7 were able to take that victory here. Pain Gaming have the early lead as expected. Cheetan
Jo, to je na to,
and
jo,
Curry getting
chápu.
the push down here. Bubble just wide. As Karaoke here to defend, he's going to be able to pick up this first Scuttle Crab. No dive in the offing.
A lot of farm lost underneath the tower there, though. And the knock-up also.
10 CSD už na botu.
Wow.
Ještě cancelnutý base. Já nevím, oni první hru dostávají takový turbostom na botu a oni si prostě neřeknou, že to je v pohodě. Oni si neřeknou, to není v pohodě. Pikneme něco jiného do Lucianami. Oni piknou Zajarakan znova.
The early base going to come in from Curry, and you imagine that Cheetan is going to stick around. As, double
do toho hrál něco z Lulu.
Really nice for Karaoke here. Visor as well getting the push in the top lane, meaning that he can come down and defend this. Odi was looking to be invested by Jinkedo in the mid lane. Karaoke is going to come across here. Jinkedo doesn't have the charm. Hits that onto Hui. Jinkedo will take about half his health bar, maybe a little bit more. Almost 80% of it falls. He's going to have to back away. Pops the potion, but can't really stay in this lane anymore.
Třeba Aphelios Lulu je mega good do Lucianami.
And with the TP already used, it means that Jinkedo is just very sad given his circumstances.
Poppy permagenkuje, to je actually good, jakože Poppy permagenkuje, ale tady to nezabijou, ne? Když mají double sans. Tady stačí jenom flashnout správně. No, stačilo flashnout správně, ale neflashe správně. Wow. On se vystresoval, ten Curry. Tam stačí neflashovat, nic neflashovat, jenom běžet a flashnout dvojtivečko Drakana. A neumře. Ale on se nechal vystresovat a flashnul jak hovno.
But a nice play from Odi, a play that was very much needed given the amount of pressure that Pain Gaming's bot lane was putting down onto R7's. And at the very least, the gold will now be equalized in the bot lane 2 versus 2.
It's just the neutralizer.
Tady nesouhlasím s Vedem, ten gank byl úplně useless.
That's a win for you. If you get out of this lane with only a couple
jako nebyl úplně useless, ale můžou to freezenout zase jednoduše na mě za deniovat CS.
By those Antofos jumps back in with the leap strike, but Summit just really trying to clear out the wave more than anything. It looks like Visor actually having a much better time in this lane than he did in
game 1. Oni to nefreeze, oni to pushli. Zajímavý.
Should be aware. You can see Karaoke waiting in the wings. Odi's on his way across though and should be able to cover this as Karaoke backs away. Odi was looking for those grubs but doesn't have the push in top, so immediately begins to step away. Goes across, tries to steal away some of these honey food. He doesn't need them, but Wiser or Karaoke could have done with those. So Odi takes them. Leons comes across to help out, looking for these grubs. It looks like Visor is going to back away. Does have the TP, but I think the first 3 grubs will be going over to R7. Karaoke just keeps walking forward. It's a magical ability. The collapse beginning to come in as Curry is pinging that he has joined the battle. Summit half HP. Wiser TP's back
Curry nemá použít takhle bubble tag hovno.
Odi looks for another. Karaoke able to get there in time. Odi has to flash away. Summit could do the same, but doesn't need to.
Co se děje s těma CS na botu? To je unplayable. Já vám říkám, že ten matchup je unplayable. Zajarakan do Lucianami je unplayable. Jako reálně. Jako dá se to hrát, ale složitě. Tak, spapal jsem dneska jídlo, tyjo, jak jsem měl hlad. Tentokrát ten Jax jako traduje mnohem agresivněji a to vyhrává. Wow!
All across the board, it's coming up Pain.
So these are the individual talents we were talking about in game 1. The laning phase is where we can see these Pain Gaming Pain Gaming members really shine. Wiser was struggling in this matchup in game 1. He was falling behind. I think he got frozen on by Summit, which resulted in this huge experience deficit early on in the lane. But this time around, he finds a solo kill onto Summit. A much-needed confidence boost, and also a big statement. They ran back.
Pain hrajou dobře, no Pain oni i tu první hru hráli líp než R7, ale prostě potom greedy. Dali 2 killy Syndře na botu, když nemuseli, a potom prostě feedovali k Syndru a Syndra dala 1v9 a pak teamfight zahráli jeden strašně špatně. Problém je ten jako midlaner, no, jako midlaner Pain je fakt bad.
Shouldn't remove your trust from him. Summit here after the counter strike is used and he's able to escape it. I think he's
fine. Teď se divím, že jako proč neflashuje ten sám
I mean, QW in and then flash ulti into the passive third hit. Yep. I think he also got the W as well. Yeah.
Summit was not expecting that. Had his own flash as well. Only had the opportunity to get
away
from
solo koupa.
Won't be able to find and engage. The first Drake is still on the cards for either of these teams. Last time we saw a Grubs for Drake exchange. Here we saw a Grubs for Grubs exchange between the two.
I'm very interested to see how these fights play out. Early Dragons in the early game so far in this series has been very timid. Neither team really has gotten too chaotic, and honestly I was kind of impressed from game 1 with the amount of cross-mapping that was going on. Pain Gaming had a tendency to overstack in terms of members to be able to secure picks or objectives, and R7
Radis je jediný, kdo má přístup na 7 TV, no, mám pocit. Co tam zase dělá Radis?
See if something similar happens in this game with Pain Gaming having the lead.
Co tam zase dělá Radis na tom 7 TV?
4-0 Syndra after 10 minutes.
Yeah, it makes it slightly easier for you when you know that unleashed power isn't an option.
And look at Cheetan. I mean, perfect CS right now has been completely dominating in the 2 versus
100 CS proti 60 XDD.
Full level of experience advantage over his laning counterpart. Root comes through.
Dashes away.
What? Však myslíš?
R7 wanted to go any further. I think if Leon's has been
no tady tahle hra vypadá hodně dobře, top vyhrává, jungle je ahead, midlane je prostě bad, ta hra je bad, to je bad hráč, on prostě prohrává ve všem. A Lucian nám je giga ahead. Stačí jim to nenainkit a bej v poho. Problém je, že tady Jax umře.
I'm surprised they made that work, really, because Wiser, he knew the dive was coming. He was doing his best to keep the minions from going underneath the tower, but Oddie made the smart call of knowing we can't wait here any longer. We've got to execute upon this and we've got to make it work. So the beautiful part of what Oddie did was that he flashed over the wall and actually gets Wiser out of tower range.
Jeden kill, ale jako reálně ten kill je irrelevant. Sedžujeme grabíky, budou mít 5 grubů, budou mít 5 grubů pro Jaxe, Jax abuzuje graby, jako huge abuse graby, Jax je jeden z nejlepších abuserů na graby. Je to takový jakože tady Pain jsou ve velmi dobré pozici jsou Pain Gaming teďka.
Bolstering of the defensive of the tower, falling off at 10 minutes. They can get more plates in top lane if they're up here. Resetting, defending Karaoke in case anyone decided to fight him around the grubs, and now can try and push Summit back.
Yeah, I mean, you make a great point. By having all these extra grubs,
tady je to huge, fakt že jo, no, je to fakt huge.
And it's just like a small advantage that you can gain, because especially you look at the bot wave, Wisey's able to push this one through, but he may have overstepped.
Does have flash, he'll get one plate. He is level 9, as you say, not back, not tanking the tower. Counter-strike comes out, rooted up with the blade caller. Visor does still have the flash. Will he use it or will he save it? I think the answer's save. He'll pop the Grandmaster's Might. That's a much shorter cooldown. In the end, he falls. A good gank there from Oddie.
Se divím, že ten jak teďka tak dvakrát naintil.
Summit respecting the threat of a dive. Of course, ultimately, the advantage that Pain Gaming wanted was access to this top lane tower. By pushing in that bot wave, yes, they do lose their top lane.
No záleží, kdo veme first turretu. S těma 5 grubama by měli, jo, vemou first turretu na topu. Lucian nami vemou first turretu, to je huge, protože teďka nami bude mít mandate faster. Ale proč ten charm používá tak pozdě, ta hry, by the way? Oni jsou hrozně inky, jako proč třeba Jack se nechá chytit na bot lane, když jsou všichni na top lane, a proč teďka fightí na midu, když pušujou top lane, turet. Oni dělají 2 playe zaraz. Ale dívej, teďka Nami bude mít Mandate, Lucian bude mít ty vole Essence River a BF Sword. Nami, co jsem chtěl říct, je, že Nami je jeden z těch supportů, jeden z mála supportů, na kterým se vyplatí brát pláty. Nami by měla brát goldy z turet plátů a turety.
TP available for Kaney, but instead he's going to go catch bot wave. And with the cannon there, this should comfortably go over to Seo as well. So even though Pain are finding advantages in the bot lane, the rest of the map is very quickly falling apart.
And it is still a slight gold lead for Pain overall. About 500 ahead. You can see the lead for Chitan there. 600 gold in advantage. Alongside that, Curry has an equal lead, has now finished that Imperial mandate on the Nami, which just gives the Lucian even more damage. You can see the culling threat onto Seo. We've already seen an AD carry die to a culling. We're not expecting the damage. Leon's coming in from the side. Will be able to dash back and join up with his teammate, but might stay around to defend. Can, of course, use that duo recall, the Lovers recall, right at the last moment if he so desires. But full HP, and with still 2 wards in his pocket, he'll stay out on the map for the moment. Kaney needs to be a little cautious here because Curry and Karioka are making a beeline for this blue side jungle just to defend Wiser on the push. More gold in the pockets of Pain. Summit won't be able to take the tower in the top lane as a recompense, but he will get a bit of chip damage onto it.
I mean, a lot of the gold that Pain Gaming have is thanks to these 2 ADA towers that they've been able to secure. As R7 leads in terms of the kills.
Oddie's by himself.
Yeah, he started the Herald. I did notice this happening, but once again, he's completely isolated.
Glacial Prison not quite connecting onto Oddie. Summit there to jump in as well. Curry and Chitan have the push. They'll force Leon's away. The Rift Herald resets. Karioka still looking for more. Lands the permafrost. Summit's now going to be flanked as Chitan's on his way across. Hex splash from Oddie straight. Face planting into the wall, but gets over afterwards. There's the quickness as well. But this is only a poppy. The Keeper's verdict stopped with the tidal wave. Kaney came in from the top side. Summit looking for a little bit more. Chitan flashes the wall. Spiraling Despair is on him, but Despair only felt by R7. Wiser here to join the party. A 1v2 for the moment. Seo trying to escape. Has that Feather Storm. But the empowered lamppost from Visor slaps him into the dirt.
Skirmish after skirmish, Pain Gaming get exactly what they wanted. Not a full-on 5v5, not a front-to-back brawl, but Oddie being isolated around the Herald, Summit using his skills to provide peel, the bot lane of Pain Gaming catching Kaney isolated in the top lane. There's not a single burst that they have to be worried about. He's fully confident.
Lucian byl feedle, jak hajzla něco udělal.
The kill score was 4-1 moments ago. Now they find themselves 4-4 with a 2.5k gold lead.
It's a huge lead now.
Jako bych to neříkal, že Lucian bude huge, že dá.
On the cards for them as well. They can continue stacking those up. It is a Chem Drake, so not the biggest priority, but we'll see what the soul is.
Lucian si povodil 1v3.
Already off the cards. The aggression from Chitan as well, flashing the wall straight into the face of that spiraling Despair.
Zajímavý, že jde Infinite Edge first. Playable. Playable. Playable pro tu Zaju.
Already has a BF sword alongside that Essence Reaver.
It's 3 tasks to 0, Medic.
Yep.
PNG have just been leveraging the strength of this bot lane all around the map.
Bude společnou přezaděvančů do nebe. On jede to, on jede jako, on jede one shot build, no, a Infinity Edge, Essence River. Máš malý range, ale máš hrozně velký damage.
And Tofo's come out.
Má flash.
Summit's able to dash away. Flashes the charm
Pohodě,
as well.
možná.
Karioka and Visor like having none of this. Karioka dashes in.
Veme hrozně moc času, je dead, ale Jaxovi to nechte. Jaxovi to nechte.
He bought some time, which allows Kaney some time on the bot lane tower and a little bit for Seo in mid.
I will say they sent 5 people top, Medic.
Gotta kill him, Betty.
But
Gotta kill him.
But I don't think it was worth it.
Nebylo to worth. Herald kill za turetu, to je boost pro Pain. Essence River Infinity Edge, když má Zaya Essence River. Kamo, reálně, pokud Zaya teďka nemá flash. Ne, víš co chci já vidět? Já chci vidět dvojtívéčko ult od Luciana na Zaju, ona dostane 100 to 0 i s flashem.
You killed Summit, your gold difference has decreased a little bit.
But we saw in that MasterCard lane economy snapshot for a second there just how far Cheetan is ahead. 1,000 gold, his lead in the bot lane. He also, like Lucian Nami is just such a deadly combination. Infinity Edge and Essence Reaver for him, alongside that Imperial Mandate, he is absolutely blasting now.
This is a very strong Lucian indeed. Cheetan, a player that, I mean, he's not a rookie, right? Like,
he's been around a while.
I remember when we cast him for his first time on the internet.
Dneska budeme asi hrát Dale and Donson. To je u tu office hru. Nevím v kolik, ale asi v 8, v 9.
It's crazy to think that he's been competing.
Jak to dneska jde, Federer? Pojíčko?
The man is an
Pojíčko.
experienced veteran, and it's great to see that, especially in situations like this on the world stage, he's able to play with this level of confidence, because it's what you need. With Pain, with the backs against the wall, down a game in this best of 3. It's that confidence that they're going to need. As Dragon, about 3 minutes away, a minute and a half till Baron. It's at this stage where we sometimes see playins teams crumble, fall apart. Leveraging your strength in the side lanes, setting up proper vision control around the jungle, leveraging that pro into moving into sides, controlling objectives.
Budete hrát i s kapesníkem, kamo, já se začínám bát o kapesníka, co mu je, vole. On to hubnutí bere tak vážně, že nestreamuje. Já mu napíšu, co se mu děje, jestli je v pohodě. Lucian ult, XD, Cooling!
And so is immediately forced off the mid wave. But Pain Gaming, they don't really have much to play for right now. So it's just a matter of catching waves, controlling vision, and working towards those next core items.
I like the argument
Dneska, kámo, dnes právě teď, pánové, já jsem měl hlad jak cokoliv a já jsem zežral 1400 kalorií. 1400 kalorií jsem měl na oběd. Mám nafouklý vzduško. Ne, celý den hraje Throne and Liberty. A Throne and Liberty vypadá dobře, ale to vypadá jak Lineage. No jasný, vole, já řeknu, že sežeru 1400 kalorií a všichni frogánci, vole, tady Gym Bros vylezou z toho jejich brlou a řeknou actually, to je velice málo, já jím 2300 kalorií na oběd. Za den sním 10 000 kalorií. To, že tam píchám tren a trembolon a já nevím, co ještě, tak to je vedlejší. To je Lineage 3, jo no. Borci, kdybych si tam píchal ty vaše trembolony, vole, tak s ním taky 5000 kalorií na oběd. Tren a Vanar testák, kamo, ten kahling je hroznej. To je, chápeš, že to je damage do popy, která ani není tanky. Zaya flashla na to, aby dala Ečko. Chápeš, že to ani jako není damage do Zaya nebo Heve, to je damage do popy a popy je tank. Reálně to Lineage, jen se to jmenuje jinak. Fakt, je to, já se na to podívám, na to Throne and Liberty, po téhle hře, kouknem na to, mě to zajímá, já Lineage miluju. Nepoužívám vitamíny od Resta, ne? Já chci reálně vidět Kaling od toho Lušna jenom na tu Zaju. Jenom na tu Zaju. Jí to one-shotne. Jí to normálně, ona zmizí, vole. Co jsem hrál v Lineage 2, do Varfíka, spoilera jsem měl. Já jsem byl greedy zmrt už za svých mladých let. Chápete, že já jsem v Lineage hrál postavu, která jenom farmí a má extra bonusový dropy z mobek a tak.
Drake down to 3000, Summit on that front line, Riftail charging through that mid lane, now good, Keeper's Verdict will knock him back and Oddie secures the Drake. Leon's dashing...
Cooling! Ale ne, on to prostě používá špatně, ten Cooling. Já nevím, když jsem hrál Lineage, bylo mi tak 14, 13. Jax je huge. Ta hra je over. A ta hra byla už over nějaký pátek. By se ti líbil spoil na H5, co je H5? Žebral si v Giranu na meč v 11 letech. Já jsem si postavil v Lineage a obu a dal jsem ji na +8 a pak mi křupla. A jak mi křupla, tak jsem přestal hrát Lineage. Jsem se rozbrečel, že já jsem tu zbraň stavěl půl roku. Půl roku jsem farmil materiály na to, abych postavil tu zbraň. A potom jsem mi dal +8, byla krásně svítila modře. A křupla mi a prostě jsem se rozbrečel a FF. Ale to pokud jste nehráli Lineage, tak to musíte pochopit.
A worthwhile trade for Pain Gaming as they're able to just run down their opposition.
Ale místo Rapid Fire si měl postavit Last Whisper ten Lucian. Měl fakt jako ten build měl jet full jako Lucian. Essence River i Last Whisper by byl huge v těch fightech. Hlavně když nemáš first strike, tak je...
Meanwhile, the AD carry is left completely isolated. Cheetan working with his jungler to secure that kill.
A reálně nemůžou nikdy chytit, ne? Ale proč hukuje zeď? Lol, teď ještě Ahri je zabije 1 ve 4. Sleduj. Má flash? Nemá flash. Ahri nemůžeš chytit, ona má 4 flashe, ona má ult 3 flashe a flash svůj vlastní. Ona je hrozně OP na sidelane. Málo kdo to abuzuje tu Ahri. Ahri bys měl abuzovat tím stylem, že jako legit hituješ tier 2 běže na sidelane a forcuješ enemy tým, aby tě zkoušeli vkečnout, ale tě chytit nemůžou. Nechápeš, jak Pain prohráli první hru? Já jo, protože byli greedy zmrděčci. Reálně oni prostě divnou bot lane, získají 2 killy a potom místo toho, aby utekli, tak se snaží zabít Syndru, dají 2 killy a pak to intujou. What the fuck? To byl auto-attack, jo, na tu Zaju, by the way. Co dělá ten Titan?
Devastation so far from PNG, from Cheetan, a 3000 gold lead for him.
Borci, nebojte pikovat Zaya, Rakan do Lucian, nám je úplně v pořádku. Pikněte to i tu třetí hru. 2 hry dostáváte turbo tom na botlane a nemůžete hrát videohru. Ale furt to děláte.
As Pain Gaming were able to disengage, Curry gets out of Summit's embrace. The mid lane inhibitor tower still somehow standing. Pain Gaming were looking for it, but couldn't quite find that tiny little bit more damage to take out Kana.
Wow. Such a shift. And I think what's super impressive to me is how, for the most part, when R7 got the lead, they largely cleaned out the game
Adame, skupinová fáze začne ve středu. Ne, ve čtvrtek? Pondělí, úterý, středa jsou day off, ve čtvrtek. Ve středu nebo ve čtvrtek to začíná? Vím, že pondělí, úterý je volno. Středa taky je volno, ne? A čtvrtek je pak Swiss stage. Swiss stage se hraje ve Francii, ne, furt v Německu. Mám pocit, že furt v Německu, ne?
Obviously R7 fighting for the right to be the first ever LLA representatives in that world Swiss stage. But right now they are fighting against a brick wall. Pain are very willing just to play it methodically, play it slow. Your soul is delayed, obviously you won the fight around the last Drake, but I don't think R7 are going to give you a fight around this one. They just want to defend, want to clear out these minions, try and get Kaney 2-3 items.
I genuinely think this time round, R7 just don't actually have the damage.
Yeah.
Like, I think in game 1, the fact that Syndra got fed was obviously helpful, but Syndra just changed the dynamic of the comp so much.
True.
Compared to what is a very
Myslíš, že Handit vyhrál? No, hodně záleží na tom, jestli Quid bude hrát Oriana Heavy nebo nebude. Pokud Oriana Heavy nebudou hraný Quidem, tak to bad. Proč kahuje takhle side? Ne, dneska nejsou co-op hry nakonec, budou ve středu ve čtvrtek co-op hry. Summit win trade, no ne, oni Pain Gaming jsou jako všeobecně lepší tým, ale prostě první hru hrozně naintili a jako oni měli v obě dvě hry lepší draft, ale tu první hru hrozně griefnuli, tu Syndru a Syndra byla 5-0. Dobrý flash.
To get through the Sterax, the Sundered Sky, the Trinity Force that Wiser has collected across this game.
A flawless game from Cheetah, his spacing, his aggression in the fights. Able to do so much damage as well with the charms finally starting to connect from Jinkedo. They secure 2 inhibitors. They're on so point. Ooh, base is going to come through. And now the Baron becomes the next big objective for Pain Gaming to play for. No reason not to take your time. They could, if they want to, just commit to the top tower. They know with super minions sieging in the bot and mid, they could even send Ari off onto one of the lanes with the threat of the TP. The bases are a little disconnected on the side of Pain Gaming, just because Jinkedo's
Mám trochu foodkoma, nebudu lhát.
But they're in a great
Dneska
spot.
se draftí Swiss stage. Mám pocit.
Only a single Nexus tower stands.
Kaney's going to be the one sent across to deal with that Summit.
Škoda toho Titána, no, on to používá tak jako divně, všechny ty Culling. Já bych chtěl opravdu vidět Culling na Heavy nebo na Zaju, jako full Culling, to by byla strašně funny, protože by Heavy a Zaja museli okamžitě flashnout, nebo dostanou one shot během vteřiny. Tak je taková škoda.
So Pain Gaming haven't truly denied that vision, but if you just play in the enemy face for 3 minutes, you know those wards are going to expire anyway. Don't have to rush it. You are well in control of this game, 8,000 gold ahead. Looks like Karaoke now going to jump into the pit.
No já si reálně myslím, že kdyby si postavil Zaju a Heavy jako za sebe a stáli by na místě a Lucian by dal Culling, tak zabije tak Culling oba dva, když by se jako nehybali.
Wiser looking for that flank position. Summit on the front line. TP by Kana. Glacial Prism across the wall. Sail low with that Featherstorm. Wiser jumps in immediately onto Kana.
Jax in the triple people. Bam! 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 Kamo ta Ahri ale tak bad, to je crazy. Ona prostě misuje každý oh my god, ta Ahri. Wow. On prostě absolutně, on ví. Ahri ví, že má flash ten člověk a prostě, že je uzdí a že bude flashovat. A místo toho, aby počkala se spelama, tak ona ty spely použije a on jí to flashne, že jo, ten spell. Protože on by flashnul tak jako tak. Já nevím, ten midař toho Painu, ten jako legit potřeba replaced. To je prostě reálně... Dívej na ten Culling. Damage. 49 tisíc Lucian. Ale ten jako ten legit ten midař Painu je problém. Je hodně velký problém. On je prostě NPC. Já si myslím, že teďka, pokud jsou chytří, tak zabanou Lušna 1, 2, 3. Zabanou Lušna 1, 2, 3, jo. A pak se uvidí, co bude, protože podle mě ten Titan neumí hrát nic jiného než Lušna tak dobře, jak hraje. A mid jungle jsou NPCčka, takže to bude problémeček. Jax ban, Jax není problém. Jax není problém v těch hrách. Problém je Lucian a problém je prostě jejich že midař je NPC.
The main stage, but one of them will qualify, one of them will have that opportunity to go up against the best teams that the world has to offer, and this draft is what will determine it. Yone gonna remain on the ban pool, Syndra, LeBlanc likely to follow alongside from Pain Gaming.
Dneska byla hrozná zima, ne 12 stupňů reálně, jsem šel do gymu a bylo 12 stupňů. Yone Syndra, OK.
There's the Syndra. Now Skarner, what is going to happen with that? Because typically we've been seeing the LeBlanc, the Syndra and the Renekton from the side of Pain Gaming, but this time round, R7 have the option to leave the Skarner open, but they're not going to. Instead, they're going to ban it themselves. Lucian, I feel, has to make its way to the ban table unless they want to play it themselves.
Yeah, first pick Lucian would be...
Lucian podle mě ban.
coming into World's
Měl
Playins,
by.
but something that has defined this series. Chitan's power on that pick alongside Kuri's Nami has been devastating for
Jax Carnejo, ne?
Jax, their final ban, they're mixing things up, they're now on the
Už
blue
není v
side.
banu.
Before it was the Orianna,
Ori, počkej, je v banu, ok.
solid and got rid of it.
Počkej, oni to banli sami?
Themselves.
Co? Ježišmarja, vyhoďte ty trenéry.
But Renekton also. Do you first pick the Renekton though? No, instead you go for the Sejuani. I think that this makes a lot of sense. Ori
Pane bože.
comfort and an ability to
Ty vole.
and more reliable engage. On the Poppy, you have good disengage tools, but they were very reliant on Leon's acting as an engage tool and ultimately punishing the mistakes on
Sejuani first pick.
There's more agency.
Vi je open, Ziggs je open, Ashe je open.
Respond. Will they look for the early Renekton priority? Will they continue to prioritize that bot side of the map? I would be very surprised. I am surprised.
Pane bože.
So, Jinkado incredibly
Pane bože.
thing to note, I think he's only lost 2 games on it across the
Pane
course of the
bože.
year, one of those being in this series. So giving him something he's comfortable on in a game where you think he needs to be a pivotal part of your composition does make sense.
Jako zase jako nevím, co by dělal na jiných čampech, když hraje takhle špatně na hry, a jestli je to jeho comfort pick, tak nevím, co by dělal na ostatních čampech. To bylo. Možná by to bylo ještě horší, jo, takže jako hej.
Kaney thinks about going for a LeBlanc. Like, I guess you can argue that there's not really good matchup, like a stompy type
Renekton,
of matchup that you can
Sejuani,
dominate on.
okay.
You could go for something like an Akali, but I don't love it this early on in the draft. The Renekton makes sense for Summit, a very safe blind, knowing that they're going to have to go for the blind anyway. But do you lock in an AD carry here?
LeBlanc, okay. LeBlanc je good do hry.
Early on in the matchup, very similar to every matchup that we've seen so far, is you have a lot of advantages against the Ahri in the 1 versus 1. Once she gets level 6, I think it becomes a lot more of a skill matchup. Obviously, the charm can be a very powerful tool. But yeah, okay, so the high priority on the Ahri, like don't get me wrong, game 2, he definitely had a lot more impact. Some of his charms still went wide, but later on to the game, he was landing those crucial picks. As a side laner, Ahri is a fantastic champion. Now, how do they round out their first half? Do they want to lock in a top laner here? Something like the Gnar for Wiser could make a lot of sense.
Kalista,
They're really paranoid about giving this bot laner something
So
they're going to take the Kalista and then ban away the Ashe. Okay, I do like this strategy.
The question is, where can
ještě Alistar Poppy jsou v dobrý supporty, no. Supporti do Kalisty.
Nautilus next, maybe.
Nautilus as well would make sense.
Raidis neudělám.
Rel Kalista is so powerful. It really depends on how R7 want to play it, because you could
No,
look for
uvidíme.
something like the Ezreal and just play.
Uvidíme, co draft No for 5 to rozhodne, kdo vyhrál draft. Ale zatím se mi jako nelíbí ta Ahri a ta Kalista, no. Ale tak uvidíme. Jako Ahri, Kalista a Wukong dohromady je dobrý kombo. Don't get me wrong, to je dobrý draft. Ale vzhledem k tomu, jak hrál Titan tu Kalistu jednou, že neultil celou hru, nedal ani jednou ult. A ta Ahri, jak hraje ten Midash tu Ahri, tak je to takový sus. Jdeme o Poppy, ne? Poppy support. A k tomu můžou vzít cokoliv. Nevím, proč nebannuli Poppy support, když to a on to aj hraje, ne, tu Poppy support furt. On to pikoval furt. To jako perma pikuje tu Poppy support. Místo Dravena určitě Poppy support pan. Je to dobrý do Wukonga, do Ahri, do Xanteho, do Kalisty.
I'll be honest, I don't think it's the best in terms of dominating that lane, but it gives you so much team fight later on, and if Kaney can get control of the mid lane, we've seen how well he can do when he starts to move around.
Kámo, není tohle Poppy player a ten člověk pikuje 1-2 Poppy support a pak pikuje Nautiluse v nejlepší Poppy hře jeho života. Ještě v banu, hej? Si pletu? Asi jo, ale měla tady být Poppy 100%. Poppy tu měla 100% být, škoda tý Poppy. Tady by byla huge. Tady kdyby byla Poppy pro R7, tak si reálně myslím, že jako vyhráli draft. a vyhrajou hru, ale vzhledem k tomu, že tam je Nautilus, Varus, Pain má o dost lepší draft, jako crazy draft. Pain má actually wombo combo draft. Mají strašně dobře well-rounded teamfight comp, early game skirmish comp. A mají prostě Rel, která je 10krát lepší než Nautilus. Fakt nechápu, proč nepikli Poppy. Kdyby pikli Poppy, tak si řeknu možná R7 vyhrál actually. Ale takhle si nemyslím.
They have a lot of poke at their disposal with both LeBlanc and Varus, champions that leverage Fog of War exceptionally well. They're a scary duo to face check into, especially with the Nautilus paired alongside them. With R7 having an incredibly powerful bot lane top 2 versus 2. Renekton Sejuani is a very potent combo that we've seen multiple times. Renekton consistently denied away by the side of Pain Gaming.
Ale zase Ahri to může Ahri bude griefovat. Ahri bude griefovat, ty vole. A Kalisto hrál fakt špatně, ten člověk. Takže toho se bojím. Že on hrál Kalistu minulé, ten Titán, a reálně neultil 30 minut, dal jednu ult. Za 30 minut dal prostě jednu ult, což je crazy.
The League of Latin America looking to, for the first time, make it into that world's main stage for their evolution into America's next year. For CBLOL, 8 years in the desert. For Pain, 9. And for all these players standing on the shoulders of those who came before in their regions, looking to do them proud one last time before the Americas comes in next year. And we get to see them challenge all again under a brand new banner. Lines of scrimmage set out across the map here. Seo playing very safe back towards the tower. Looks like they put an early ward down towards that bottom lane to track if anything spicy was happening, but I doubt it's spicy.
To je kurva gamelsní, let's go!
It's German Schaff is what this is.
In the old chat right now, Kaney and Jinkedo saying, I like you too.
And now they're going to try and beat the hell out of each other for 30 minutes. And we're here along for the ride. As you said, a rivalry between the two regions, 10-3, sorry, in favor of CBLOL across the last 10 years. LLA have been denied so many times.
I mean, it's crazy to think how many times
Jakube, díky za 9. Kamera dolů. Jo.
I mean, for Pain Gaming, so many times they were close to representing the CBLOL and being denied. 5 finals in a row they made as an organization, always getting second place. Then at the 6th opportunity, making it through. Leon's hit, taken down to about half HP. Something that's
mám to správně, ne? Tu kameru mám?
in the Rel Nautilus matchup is the fact that Rel can break through your Titan's Wrath shield as the Nautilus, so you don't have that tool at your disposal to the same degree you usually would. Obviously, that means she has to have held her Shattering Strike, which is often used as a possible engage tool. Kaney here, once again, winning the mid lane matchup early on. Is a little bit of a struggle for Ahri early doors because of the mobility of the LeBlanc before level 6.
I mean, it's also just, you can't really trade against the LeBlanc. I mean, Ahri is not a good trading champion, if that hasn't become clear over the last
Mid-div, no to jako to bude problém ta Ahri, no. Takhle, když se podíváš na ten zápas, tak jak vyhrajou, jak R7 vyhrajou hru. R7 vyhrajou hru tím způsobem, že se LeBlanc musí turbo feednout. A reálně tady ta Ahri, ten Ahri hráč je fakt bad. Ten Din Quedo, já nevím, jak se to ani vyslovuje. A Titan je bad Kalista, tak je to takový jako sus.
Cheetah and Curry kind of pretending that they want an early back here, coming back into the lane. You can see Seo and Leon's thinking about it. Charm does hit onto Kaney in the mid lane.
Konečně charmnul tu LeBlanc, když skáče forward. Wukong je mega dobrý do Sejuani, Renekton, Varus Nautilus, tady. Renekton by měl vyhrávat proti Xantemu o 10-15 CS a 2 pláty, tak se uvidí, jak to zahraje summit. Ještě má Sejuani. To je fakt, proč nezůstane pod věžou? Zahrál dobře, to je free. To je free. Tady i Wukong zabije i Sejuani s flashem. To je free. Jenom nepoužij flash early. Ježišmarja. Ještě, že má ten bambus dlouhej, kurva. Pane bože, on flashnul jak jako megabet.
But Jin Kato played that as well as he could have, because he connects the charm once the chain has connected, because that crucially drew tower aggro onto Kaney, which meant that 2 tower shots.
Ale botlane by měla za chvíli začít vyhrávat, to je jako Kalista Real, level 5, 4-5, bude mega silný. A už.
Looking for the engage here, so having to flash away, does still have that barrier, Ignite ticking as well. Curry burnt both his summoners for that exchange, but as a support in this situation, you take that trade every single day, especially since the dive is beginning to materialize.
A hry měla zůstat pod věží. Tady bude dive, to bude huge, on nemá summoner spely, to actually můžou divenout.
Leon's acting as that body man, that bouncer.
Actually LeBlanc to matchuje, tak nemůžou.
Pain Gaming will call it off.
Kato needs to be careful about these roams. In terms of the gold being pretty even in the mid lane, the problem is, like, look at the farm, the experience. This is going to be a problem if he keeps looking for these roams, and he has to be very cautious about how much he is actually moving. Now the wave is pushing towards him, so that's the good news. But
pardon, omlouvám se.
There will be some very serious problems. Meanwhile, Oddie has been stealing away some camps on the top side of the map.
It's the first chain. Keynes doesn't have 2 chains yet, but will have those at his disposal relatively shortly. Curry here. Crash downs, gets a shield. It's eaten up by the Varus. Oddie trying to
Wukong tady, pokud se feedne, tak bude huge, protože to jako...
Of course, gifted those over to the Wukong earlier on, but with Kaney having the push in the mid lane. Summit under the tower.
Renekton by měl vyhrávat proti Xantemu, no. A docela dost vyhrává. Teďka mu force netýpí. On se musí bát, protože Sejuani ho tam může divenout. Ta Ahri je sus, kámo. Ona vůbec nepredikt. Kámo, ta Ahri je tak sus. Ona ani neumí prediknout, kdy ta LeBlanc skočí in, však to je úplně obvious, že ta LeBlanc skočí in. A nedá jí charm. Protože hraje Ahri, když mu to nejde, legit prey je to jeho komfort a s tou Ahri neprohrál. Teď krásně mohl dát charm. Úplně free charm tam byl, by the way. Ten člověk je fakt bad, jako. A já se omlouvám, že ho flamím, ale ono je to šokující, jak je bad. Na World Stage je takhle bad člověk, to je prostě člověk, který by na Vestu nebyl ani v Master Tier Elu, chápeš? By bylo staknutý v Diamond jednu Elu prostě.
As the swap did come through, numbers advantage guaranteed for R7.
Chemtek Drake je takový. Je to dobrý pro... actually jako není. Chemtek dává co teďka? Já to vždycky zapomenu, protože ten Drake je tak strašně useless, že to ani nepamatuju. Slow reduction? Ne, to dává Cloud. Ten asi ty to dává? No, tak to se zrovna hodí. To se zrovna hodně hodí.
You already see that Seo doesn't have the flash available. I'm wondering if they can consider a dive in the near future. Potentially set up a stacked wave towards bot.
Shield heal, to je k ničemu, no, ale ten asi ty se hodí.
Having invested in the early magic resistance to help get him through this matchup.
The risk for Jinkato is you don't have flash, you do have spirit rush, as you say, so you do have a little bit more flexibility in this, but at every opportunity, Kaney is going to be trying to put you under.
Schválně si predikne ten jump zase. On by to reálně mohl i baitit, ty jumpy.
Having Seo just stay underneath the tower to deny as much vision around here. Jinkato is the target, there's a bullseye on his back, and when you use the charm like that, the chains will find their home. Kaney just chipping away bit by bit until eventually that kill threat materializes.
And of course, we've been talking a lot about the mid lane because of how much action has been happening here, but the same is happening on the top side of the map. Summit has been denied this Renekton so often, but he's constantly finding good trades, building advantages. He finds himself with a pretty good lead for now.
Charm going down. Leons has to flash away the cycle.
Wukong by to měl potahat, by the way, tuhle hru. Wukong je tady fakt huge a už je 2-0. Tady ho jenom napolkujou. Top by měl prohrávat. Top by měl prohrávat, tak jak prohrává ten Xante, to je v pohodě. Jak prohrává Ahri proti LeBlanc, tak by nemělo být. Ten Ahri LeBlanc matchup je takový skill matchup a pokud jsi dostatečně dobrý za tu Ahri, tak budeš even na CS. Pokud ne, tak max 10 CS behind. Karaoke ale bad nepotahá. Tebe tady s tím Wukongem je to fakt easy potáhat. Nebo mělo by to být easy potáhat. Co botlane Aldo? No měli by teďka level 6 zabít enemy Varuse Nautiluse. Teďka by reálně měli zaultit Nautiluse z Rel, Kalistou a zabít je, jenže problém je, že Titan prostě neultí. On má Kalista ult 30 minut a nepoužije ji. V momentě, když bych viděl Nautiluse na mojí obrazovce teďka s Kalistou, tak ultím. Řeknu Wukongu, já jde na botlane, aby matchoval Sejuani a normálně zaultím. Nautilus nemá flash.
Curry and Cheetan are always very willing to be aggro. Glacial Prison hits only onto Curry.
Nevím, no, tohle bylo tak obvious, by the way.
Have to burn the flash from Cheetan. I think he burned the cleanse there as well. Summit here needs to be a little afraid of the all-out as he dashes in for a bit of damage and slices away to escape the clutches of the Cassante. Karaoke on his way up
budou další.
So goes for that scuttle crab. Kaney.
Vidíš, jo, že už teď, jako kdyby tohle takhle tradeoval, tak je even na CS v pohodě. Kdo má lepší draft? Pain Gaming má lepší draft, hej, ale prostě jakoby mají lepší draft, ale ti hráči a ty champové, co hrajou, tak nejsou tak dobrý, aby to zahráli. Tak, grubíky swap. Teď se uvidí, co bude, jo? Teď se uvidí, co bude.
Pain Gaming have done a good job this series of denying R7 6 grubs. R7 played for it in game 1. Pain Gaming came across. We see the charm landing here alongside the shadowing striking. Odie was just face checking into the rush for the chase. Jinkedo looking for a little bit more as he jumps onto Kaney the Adiro.
Trošku to přehání ta Ahri.
Leon's trying to come in from the side, but Odie just face checked straight into Pain Gaming, knew that they were around the grubs and still walked into his demise. Pain Gaming will take 3 grubs, they'll take a kill alongside it. TP behind here. Visor needs to find a way out, pops the all out. Kaney going in, flash away by Visor.
Chain.
As Kaney now lands the chains, even with a dash away.
Actually, oni ho nedivnou. Oni ho nemůžou divnout, on to možná... Ten damage byl větší, než jsem čekal. Já jsem myslel, že zabije jednoho, že zabije buď Renektona, nebo toho. A Ahri netýpovala z jakého důvodu? Že má TP celou dobu a oni ho tam divou. Tady kdyby Ahri týpla, tak má double kill.
Summit overstaying Vedi in a side lane, who would know? Curry comes around the corner with the shadowing strike, the Magnet Storm coming down as well with the crash down, TP in. Pain Gaming investing a lot in this, and Summit hasn't overstayed. He'll just back away. The Drake though available for Pain, so...
But he has TP!
Yeah, he does. I still think the Drake just goes
Druhý drakon.
I think they're fine.
Especially with Kaney in top lane. I mean, Pain Gaming, the gold is an interesting one because you can see that the solo laners are giving the overall gold advantage, but this Wukong continues to get stronger. Ari's about to complete the Malignance, Dragon being secured as well.
Kámo, co? Ten caster taky neví, co má říct. Víš, prostě Vedi úplně. Co dělá ten kokot? Víš, jak prostě nemluví 5 vteřin, protože já prostě, abych taky nemohl mluvit, abych ho vyflamil tu Ahri. Abych prostě říkal. Prostě co to je, on dá solo pláty LeBlanc a ztratí 3 vlny na topu. Prostě jim jebe, kámo. Já to fakt nechápu. Jako Wukong bude feedle jak blázen, jo, ale já nechápu, jak tým tohle vychází. Jako Wukong 3-0-3, ten by měl dát carry, no. Ale počkej, Renekton veme full turret. Já to nechápu, kámo, já to fakt nechápu. Já to fakt nechápu, tady to prostě ta hry by měla... Oni teďka mají level 11 LeBlanc, level 10 Renekton a 1300 goldů Renekton a 760 goldů ahead LeBlanc. Prostě... Já to nechápu. On má na výběr. Za tu hry tipnout na botlane, když dostávají jeho top laner 1v2 dive, v situaci, kdyby dali double kill, kdyby tam tipnul. Reálně. A on si místo toho raději vybere situaci, kdy týpne na botlane. Aby ztratil 3 pláty na topu a bot turretu.
Has a habit of just starting the rift out. Here he does have a little bit of support while he does it. Jinkedo is down in the bot lane, no TP for him. Summit's going to take the top tier 1 as well. And he'll get the local goal. So it's a very good sequence for R7.
This Renekton is mega fed. He is extremely strong. He has so much gold. And it's something that Pain will have to deal with at some point. Like, sure, Weiser will be able to hold the Renekton, but in fights with the Herald now secured, things are only going to get scarier. I was concerned for R7.
Vypad na něj. Takové týmy dostávají na vodot. A ty týmy nejsou špatný, tam jde o to, že prostě ten hráč je to turbo boost.
Pain Gaming will secure the bot lane tower themselves, but unlocking this mid tier 1 gives you so much more access into the river, into the enemy jungle.
Víš, že tam je prostě problém toho, že ten jeden z těch hráčů prostě vždycky v tom týmu bývá prostě jeden hráč, který je úplně šíleně boosted. Což tuhle hru je prostě ta hry, no. Tak, 3-0-3 Wukong, 1500 goldů Renekton, to je trošku problémeček. Kalista zaultila tuhle hru Kalista, by the way, agresivně. 16 minut a ona zase nezaultila, já nevím, proč to hraje. On zaultil jenom, aby zachránil Rel, že jo? S Kalistou bys měl mít cooldown na Airko furt dávat, furt.
In Brazil, Kaney goes in, Jinkedo misses the charm. The chains don't quite connect, but Jinkedo has to invest his ultimate. A much longer cooldown than the Mimic from Kaney.
I think Kaney should have been a little quicker with the chains there, but ultimately he gets the ultimate out from Jinkedo, so small win for him, showcasing how strong the LeBlanc is in the side lane. Your job as Ari is mainly just to wave clear and then get out.
Ona Kalista není moc dobrý pick teďka. Na tom novém patchu je lepší, protože Little Tempo je back. Ale tady 14-18 Kalista je fakt špatný champion. A jediný, jak je ten champ OK, je když fakt jako hraješ dobře tu Kalistu. Takže se divím, že to pikujou. Ale jako Pain Gaming, tuhle hru jejich coach taky vyhrál lotérii, protože oni prostě jediný, já říkal jsem jediný, co ten Titán umí hrát je Lucian a R7 by měli zabanovat Luciana a víš, co se stane? Pain Gaming zabanují sami sobě Luciana. To je prostě, to nevymyslíš, kámo. To prostě nevymyslíš. A hry má ult? Má ult. Tu je dobrý blok, 2 CCček. Ale Renekton je huge tady, bacha na ten fight. Renekton je kámo huge, WTF. To je crazy, ne? No, měli by jít top, push mid. Tady nemůžou vyfightit toho draka. Wasted on the side of R7, yet they're still able to force Pain Gaming out of the river. They secure themselves the dragon. It will be their first of the game, and they will deny Soul Point. A very scary affair, given that Oddie used his ultimate defensively after getting caught by a charm, and then I think it was Renekton je problém, jak má 2000 goldů ahead. Oni ho nemají jak zabít. So I was really worried for R7 at the very start of the fight, but ultimately they make it work. Summit doing so much damage on the backline.
You're really feeling that 2k gold advantage.
Protože taky mid game, protože ten midař není good.
And Summit did not. He was hard as alligator skin, you might say, as he just ripped through a PNG. The Drake Soul slowed, as you say. Rainbow 7, if they can get 4 Infernals, this LeBlanc is absolutely going to kick a punch. But now the next objective, Baron in a minute 30. We'll see the resets happening from both teams. Event Horizon completed for Kaney here alongside.
Dal bych si zmrzlinu, kámo. Mám tam zmrzlinu, chat.
Completed for Kaney.
Jsem teď začal, měl jsem xkrát zmrzlinu a nějak mě to chytlo, ta zmrzlina. Je to mňam mňam. Jak teďka chcou vyhrát? Nemají damage reálně. Sedžuje tanky jak svině, Renekton je tanky jak svině. Tady by to, víš co by to tady chtělo? Mega dobrou, tady by to fakt reálně chtělo, aby Real flash ultla třeba 3 nebo 4 lidi s Wukongem. Pokud oni dají flash ult s Real a s Wukongem na 3 plus lidi, tak vyhrajou fight. Pak by to vychainovali by to s Kalistou a s Ahri damage. A ještě by bylo dobrý, kdyby Kalista začala ultit jako kdyby na cooldown na forsování Varus nebo Nautilus flashu. Ale jako zatím to vypadá pro Pain velice špatně. A proč mu neříkají Titan? Proč mu říkají Titan? Nebo jak mu to vůbec říkají?
Almost up for both mid laners.
You can see how defensive Pain have to play, right? Like they're all the way forced back.
Cheetah?
They've got a bit of vision on Baron, so they're okay. They're comfortable enough knowing, cool, maybe they take away our Krugs. Does that really matter when they group up as 4?
Dobrá ult, tohle je překvapující od té Ahry. Tady Real by měla dát dobrý engage. Wow, špatný engage. Tady prohrává Renekton to posmurfí. Špatný engage. Real to úplně naintila. Wow. Tady zabije celý svůj tým tou Xante ultimátkou, idiot. Ale jakoby Real šla zase úplně někam, kam neměla jít, šla špatným směrem. Měla se držet s Kalistou a ona flankuje za Real. Tady se to GG over.
It's an ace, and they only lose a single member. They're going to secure the top tier 2 as well, and that may very well have been the
Nevím, proč nevzal. A dívej, tady, tohle bylo fakt super, to mě překvapilo. Tady naběžel si Johnny. A proč Real tady flankuje? Proč flankuje Real? Proč tady není s tou Kalistou a nedá... To byl nejhorší flank od Real. Proč Real flankuje? A tady Xante tomu dá čevky, kámo. Může tam víc jít prostě kohokoliv jinýho. No jako, mohl vzít tu Sejuani klidně. Ale šel prostě do Renektona.
It was Pain Gaming that couldn't quite lock anyone down. And with Wiser then delivering Summit onto the backline, R7 win a massive fight, and you can see what it means.
Leon's caught out a little bit here as the charm comes down. Glacial Prison hits onto Curry as he was looking for the engage, but with the Storm Surge coming out, PNG have found a counter kill.
Real by fakt se měla držet s Kalistou a prostě flash ultnout do in, aby dala tam 3-man stun a pak Kalista ult chain CC. Ale Real prostě je to Akali flanker. Ona má damage a flankuje, aby dala one shot enemy backlince. Oh můj bože. No Swiss stage bude zajímavá, protože mě zajímá reálně, jestli ve Swissu budou taky ty týmy tak špatný, anebo jestli prostě, to je prostě play-in. Podle mě je to play-in.
You can see the win probability powered by AWS starting to swing into R7's favor, and LeBlanc is pretty deadly. Voidstaff on its way. Chitan, you got no flash. You got no flash as Odi looks for the chase. There's the slow permafrost for the stun. Summit dashing across the wall. A good magnet storm from Curry will buy his 80 carry a second. Summit
a proč neultí ta Kalista? Může mi to vysvětlit? Kámo, legit, prosím, může mi vysvětlit Titan, proč neultí tu Real na chain CC? On má disabnutou, on reálně má disabnutou ult, ne? Nebo kde ultil? Zaultil ho pak? Jsem to neviděl. On tam mohl zaultit tu toho Renektona, jak do něj šel, tak měl zaultit Rel a měl Shancy one-shotnout Renektona. Co to zase bylo? Já nevím, kámo. Já nevím. Já reálně nevím, co se v těchto hrách děje. Proto jsem říkal dneska, že... Jsem říkal, dneska předtím, než začal World, tak říkám, ty vole, doteď jsem prostě věděl, kdo vyhraje. Doteď jsem věděl, kdo vyhraje. Dneska bych nesázel, protože reálně nevím, kdo kurva vyhraje. Že prostě reálně nevím, kdo vyhraje ty hry dneska. Protože může vyhrát kdokoliv, protože to jsou prostě fiestičky. To bude 100 Thieves PSG taky vůbec nevím. Řekl bych 100 Thieves, ale... Kalista potřebuje hurikán, aby byla useful. Proti enemy týmu. Ale dívej, jo, oni chasou Titána. A teď jakoby já nechápu, proč třeba nezaultí tu Rel. Tady teď a teď zaultit Rel. A dal by CC Renektonovi a Renekton by byl mrtvej. A on celou dobu šetří si ult. Tady by ace-nuli, tady by reálně zabili všechny krom LeBlanc. A on zaultí tečka na konci. Kámo, už mu nedávej Kalistu! Já kdybych tohle viděl jako trenér a moje AD mi řeklo, pick Kalista, já říkám, ne, ani za hovno.
To see if there's anyone to catch out towards this top side. Baron buff remains on PNG for the next 2 minutes. But they don't really have the siege that they want. Kalista not the longest range.
Mně přijde, že tu ult používá jenom defenzivně pro supporta, že to vůbec neumí použít agresivně. Což je škoda. Tady by to byl dobrý to, tady je dobrá rotace, tady vemou tier 2. Ty vole, dobrá rotace, pozor. Čau Kamil, čau. Jsou všichni challenger hráči v tomhle týmu. Já bych řekl, že málo kdo by byl challenger na Westu z tohohle týmu. Reálně jediný, kdo by byl challenger z R7 na Westu z tohohle týmu by byl Summit a z toho Pain Gaming asi Titan. Pokud by nehrál Kalistu a hrál by Lucian only. Oni mají dokonce a soloky účty, tak se můžeme podívat, jaký mají elo. Ty vole, si věří. Terminus má, ta Kalista. A je taky, Terminus je taky good. Ale potřebuje ten hurikán fakt. Tak budem doufat, že Rel nebude flankovat, jinak si zase vyškrábu oči.
Individual performance is going to be crucial, but this game finds itself on a knife edge, and what better way as both regions fight for a spot in the main stage.
Oddie's going to be charmed. Should be okay with this. Doesn't have the Warmogs, but Frozen Hard and Zeke's convergence enough to keep him pretty tanky in this situation.
Yeah.
Pushing through mid. They have 4.
Charm misnutej, Sejuani ult misnutá.
Exchanged for a Spirit Rush away, and still that mid tower stands. Kaney had stepped into Fog of War with the waves pushing in top lane. Pain Gaming could never have been sure they weren't being flanked by the LeBlanc.
Waves will be caught.
A hry OP. Tohle je ten člověk, Diamond 2, jo, ten. Zatím je Diamond 2, ten midař. Ten midař Pain Gamingu. Titan je Diamond 1.
It's going to be difficult, especially with this Cassante, level 16. We know how difficult this champion is to kill.
Everyone's got their summoners up as well, very
tak, Infernal za minutu, 20 za 2 minuty Baron. Kdo vyhrává late?
Pressure on a side lane, we've seen enough Nexus for Baron exchanges and Nexus for Drake.
Reálně 60-40 na Pain Gaming late game. Mají o něco lepší late game.
R7 have a little bit of control for their own. Chitan, flash cleanse available, but currently his team And now moves across to join him. There was a brief moment there where he was left without defenses. Summit pushing out top has the TP. Kaney here, able to dash across this
Toto je
wall, can make
Titán,
that
kouknu
distortion,
se.
and then jump back TP to the mid lane by Summit. They want to fight this Drake ready.
Looks like it. I was going to say that they don't have to. They could just concede it, look to try and siege mid instead. But these teams want the third dragon.
Varus má on-hit build, aha. LeBlanc byla spotnutá. Tady jsou blbě flanknutí, tady jsou flanknutí odsaď. Tady je to blbý pro Pain. Tady musí buď engagenout na LeBlanc nebo na Renekton. Mají tady blboj angle, tady by Ahri by měla jako... Jo, dobře, tohle udělala výborně, ta Ahri. Ale špatně zaultila. Kam flashuje? Proč flashnul tak... What? Tady dostanu ace. To neměl flashovat Titana, měli zabít toho Renektona. Dal Ečko moc brzo a je s tou Ahri. GG. Tady, by the way, to, co udělala Ahri, tak to by bylo výborné. Akorát ona ultila away, ona měla ultit in a zabít LeBlanc. Tady, dívej, tady start. Tady reálně měla all-in tu LeBlanc a zabít jí. Ale ona prostě se bojí po tom, co ona použije všechny spely. Tady měla bait dead. Druhá situace, tady Kalista nemá flashovat ten Nautilus, to jako nemusí vůbec flashovat. A měli splitsou zase. Ahri neměla si na spely. Ona jí ty spely, Ahri má spely furt a hlavně má ult. A měla full HP, že jo? Very good! Renekton je docela busted. Nemůžou ho nějak zabít, no, nemají damage. Problém je, že Kalista je prostě strašně useless. Tady by museli dávat wombo combo. A teď to zase intuje, ale ten Nautilus. Ten je hrozně... Hej, kámo, jako... Vážně? Zaultí ho nebo ne? Zaultí.
Now it's Pain Gaming in control.
Another colossal mistake from R7. They overstep, they're overeager.
Ten Nautilus to podruhé na Angel zase. A nemají už druhýho barona Pain Gaming. Stejná situace, kdy ten Nautilus to rozběhne do enemy té.
They find themselves 3 kills. They're gonna get another Baron. And Medic. We're back into the fight once more.
Titan potřebuje hurikán. Kalista potřebuje hurikán, legit. Tohle se stalo tak, oni říkají taky, že se to stalo 6 minut zpátky, že jo? Mě by zajímalo, jak ta Kalista ultí ve fightech aj. Ona by měla zaultit tím stylem. Fakt, já jsem ještě ani jednou neviděl to kombo, kdy Rel flash ultne na 3 lidi, zaultí je, dám jim 2Včko, za jim Qčko a pak Kalista ultne a zase je knocknou. Víš, že jsem to ještě neviděl. Leons prostě vidí červeně a běží, vole. Jako, je to dobré pointa, no. Je dost možný, že jakoby třeba tenhle tým si vytáhne Genji, jo? Ale bože, jestli si jako Genji vytáhne jeden z těchto týmů, ty piča, tak to nebude. To bude vole 18+. To bude legit 18+.
It's gone. They're trying to get back in time. It looks like they were trying to push out the side lanes, but they neglected the mid lane. Mid inhib tower gone. There's a possible
tak bojí, ale Pain Gaming
doesn't really have any wards to go to apart from on the top side. PNG now walking down towards the bottom. Curry pops the blast cone and gets himself out. Kaney now joining up with his teammates. Importantly, the mid inhib yet to fall, but with a minute and a half still left on that Baron. You think it's going to fall quite sharpish. Summit trying to deal with Wiser. Karaoke just shadowing between the lanes. Leon's there on the front line.
Ta Ahri by měla zkoušet čarmovat tu LeBlanc.
Co
dělají? Ale aspoň ultí ta Ahri, jako Ahri by měla ultit na cooldown na charmy. Ahri to, co teďka zkoušela na Nautiluse, tak by měla zkoušet na LeBlanc. A když by se to povedlo na LeBlanc, tak vyhrajou reálně. No konečně agrese! Neuvěřitelná Kalista ult! A je insta-dead? XD. Renekton je huge, kámo. Kalista má flash. Ariel měla 0 HP. Jsem neviděl Varus Zonia. To bylo huge, ten Varus Zonia.
The chains land, but he's tanking up with a Kainic Rukan.
They don't have a wave! Oh my goodness!
No! Soula za 40 vteřin.
This is what you pay for, this is what you get your popcorn out for, this is what keeps you glued to your seat, it is cinema.
Ale měli by fokusovat toho Renektora.
For R7 and for Pain Gaming to beat the representatives for your region. The LLA have never had this opportunity.
Škoda, že nekupuje ten Hurricane, on by se to fakt hodilo, no, do Triple Melee. S Bladem.
Infernal Drake up in 19 seconds time, Betty. What we got in terms of summoners.
Kolikrát rovnuli tuhle hru? No, hodněkrát, no. A ta Ahri by měla teďka mít death cap a měla by buď lukovat na to zabít Nautiluse, anebo LeBlanc. Že ona vůbec neultí. Tady proč nedá kam ten charm dala, pane bože. Kalista ult Renekton, Kalista ult Renekton, Kalista ult Renekton. Proč to neultí? Pane bože. Ale toho Renektona teďka fokusnuli dobře, jo, že konečně ho fokusou. Oni by ho všichni měli fokusovat, toho Renektona, protože oni ho one-shotnou, pokud 5-man lidí půjde do něj. On někde ultnul, ne? Ta Kalista někde ultnula. Kde ultnula? To je hra aspoň. Do Renektona ultnula, no jo, výborně, výborně. Ona by měla ultit toho Renektona právě, no. Protože ono se to nezdá, ale Kalista ult má teďka 2vteřinový knock-up. A 2vteřinový knock-up je hrozně dlouho. Takže potom ten Renekton je chain CC. Protože nemá Mercs.
G-Tan burnt his flash in that last engage. Does still have, well, the cleanse back up in about 30 seconds time.
For the Varus.
Yep, he used it in the bot lane play with the Seekers.
Kalista Debla Twister je good. Na Kalistě, není to špatný. Je to dobrý do toho Renektona a do toho diveu, co mají.
I need to lock in, focus up as we get closer to the game deciding fight.
Okay.
Baron spawning 45 seconds. The gold really doesn't mean much at this point as itemization is largely completed across the board. See a pot sitting in Oddy's inventory waiting for
Kury by se neměl nechat poukovat.
Elixir of Iron, his beverage of choice. He'll chug that before the fight begins, as you say. Look at Oddy though, on a good flank here. If Pain Gaming back away in an inopportune moment, Oddy can find them. Hasn't been seen yet. He's trying to go for that long flank.
No, nevím, kdo vyhraje. Prostě kdo zahraje ten fight better. Dobrý chunk od Ahry. Ahry začíná mít damage teďka s tím deathcapem. Tady by měli engageovat reálně na tu LeBlanc. Tady Ahry by měla ultit. Proč neultí na Renektona třeba ta Ahry? Ona ultí na Sejuani, ježišmarja. Pane bože, a Rel misnula ult. Ale Kalista zaultila Renektona aspoň. Free win pro Pain. Dali. Ale kámo. Ahry, proč Ahry nejde do Varuse? R7 nedávají damage, protože Kalista má močko a terminus. A hlavně... Ale tam je fakt hodně věcí špatně v tom fightu, jo, že reálně tady bude další fight ještě kvůli tomu, co se teď stalo. Ta Ahry, Renekton má 0,5 HP a Ahry ho může zaultit a zabít. a ona se rozhodne jít do Sejuani, která má pasivku Extra Magic Resist Armor. Můžeš mi to vysvětlit? Ten člověk neví prostě, co má Sejuani. Proč prostě fokusuje full HP Sejuani? To je úplně extrém. A teď normálně nemá Ahri ult zase? Nemá? Nemá. Tady by normálně, pokud by měla ult, tak ho zabije. Za 5 vteřin, ok. Ale možná uvidíme první Zephyr. Ne, nikdo nepostavil Zephyr ještě na Worlds. Že Kalista bude mít Zephyr a to bude huge. Zephyr je hrozně silný item. Baron Rush od R7, nedělal bych to. To by bylo free. To by bylo jako, to by vyhráli potom Pain.
But Pain Gaming, it feels like, as we've gotten later, have found the confidence. They know how to play the fights now. And it's only getting harder. Summit's not having the same impact that he was.
Longest game of Worlds, já jsem dával 40 minut, nebo kolik jsem dával? 45 minut jsem možná dal. Já jsem dával 45, no. Tak, teďka reálně Renekton už není silný a dostane one shot. Už jako dostal outscale. Sejuani taky. LeBlanc svým způsobem ano i ne. A Varus Kalista mají stejný scaling. Rel je lepší. Teď reálně fakt by měli fokusovat Renektona. A Ahri by měla lukovat prostě charmy, perma. Ahri reálně může prostě strašně vyhrát tu hru. Pokud on bude lukovat charmy na Renektona, takhle. Výborně, dívej, co má za damage ta Ahri. To je huge, vidíš to? A to reálně ani netrefí nic, ona trefí charm a jeden nokvéčko. A Renekton je dead. Ona si vůbec neuvědomuje, jaký má damage. Ta Ahri může ultit na Renektona a zabít Renektona. Tady na tom midu mohli zaultit. Ahri tady mohla zaultit Renektona a zabít ho, by the way. Protože věděli, že LeBlanc asi dává base, protože byla low. Tady je Ahri, je champ, který vypadá strašně slabě, ale je fakt, tady třeba mohla ultit znova ta Ahri. Ult charm je dead. Pane bože. Ahri je takový ten champ, který když ho hraje normální hráč, tak je to useless champ. Ale když by to zahrál Chovy, nebo někdo, tak solo vyhraje každou hru. Takovouhle hru by solo vyhrál Chovy, protože tam máš tolik playmaking. A kde je Ahri? Proč nečarmuje Sejuani anebo Renektona? Co dělá ta Ahri? My jsme oba speli, pane bože. Ahri, ty jsi... Ahri prostě v backlince, místo toho, aby hantila killy. Já se na to nemůžu dívat, Ona prostě může, Renekton má půlku HP a ona by body languagem buď one-shotne Sejuani nebo Renektona nebo Nautiluse, když trefí charm, tak one-shotnou. Wasn't started actually by PNG for a second. They'll just dash out. Kuri's gonna fall, and now R7 can look for the Baron. Cheetan was looking, perhaps if they go for the Baron, we can go for. Já nechci být zlej, ale já bych tu Ahri, tuhle hru first time. Já v životě jsem nehrál Ahri, ale zahrál bych to líp než on. No cap. Proto tak strašně brečím. Jo, ne fakt, jako bych to zahrál líp. Dívej. A prosím replay. Replay, prosím. Tady v tom Ahri se schovává tady, místo toho, aby šla sem a zounila Renektona Sejuani, aby dali free draka. Jednak tím, že by zounila, tak pak má potom Wukong jednodušší smite na soulu, kterou stejně získal. Ale kdyby náhodou, on reálně může dát flash charm anebo ult charm na Renektona, nebo Sejuani, nebo Nautiluse a zabijou ho. Ale ten člověk to hraje jako usík a schovává se prostě... On reálně, jeho frontlika je tady a on je tady někde v Africe s tou Ahri, když má 3 flashe a 4. flash na Summoner spell. Ahri se bojí, že na inti má flash, nemůže na intit. Stačí prostě charm, ult forward, charm, flash out, když to jako mysne, nebo když prostě je na inti. A je v pohodě.
Do it earlier this game. Someone's going to push out mid. The Baron remains for a minute 40. Hopes of a region on the backs of these players. The last representatives of the LLA and the CBLOL here at Worlds. One last dance.
Tohle Kuri by se, tak jak se hejbe Kuri dopředu, by se měla hejbat Ahri. Získávat space making, se tomu říká. Space making body language, jo. Ahri by neměla být tak scared, ona by měla být prostě víc tady a zkoušet charmy. Protože LeBlanc nemá, když LeBlanc nemá benchy, tak prostě one shotne. Teďka ho zas má, jo. Ale hledej, prosím. No aspoň presuje ten charm, jo, aspoň to presuje. Sice na kanóna, ale aspoň začátek. TP flank. Varus má flash? Má flash. Jdou do Varuse, to je takový bad. Neměli být do Varuse. Měli být do Renoctona. Ty vole, Ahri, dívej, co udělala Ahri, výborně. Výborně Ahri, reálně. Ralf, Kalista zaultila! Kalista zaultila, chat, Kalista zaultila agresivně, pozor! What the fuck? A Ahri udělala přesně to, co měla udělat. Charmnula LeBlanc a pak flashla out. Ty magore! Oni se probudili. Ty vole! Leto doma! Je to hra, měla by být. Je to hra, je to hra. Ale konečně Kalista zaultila agresivně, let's go! A Ahri, vole, šla in. Ale neměli jít na Varuse. Ten Wukong s tím Xante neměli jít na Varuse, oni měli jít na Renekton. Měla by to být game, 12 vteřin. Měla by to být game. Ten Nautilus to inky, Nautilus měl počkat na ty spawny těchhle dvou hráčů. A pak by to možná defli. Point gaming! Ty magor, jaká gameska, ale. PSG versus 100 Thieves. Upřímně, reálně nevím, kdo vyhraje, ale podle mě, po tom, co uvidím první hru a uvidím první draft, tak mi toho hodně řekne, kdo vyhraje druhou nebo třetí hru. Viego ban, Aurora ban, OK.
For me, the biggest question is, what is PSG's new meta read? Because they have had some atrocious drafts throughout this tournament that have really set them up for failure. And this is a really strong team. They were my #1 team that had power ranked coming into play-ins, and I do think
Ash, Viego, Aurora, okay.
And they can draft a really strong comp. It's going to be so hard for 100 Thieves because I think PSG is just straight up a better macro team, and they have some really talented individual players. I know backstage you're talking a lot about drafts being a little bit geared towards previous patches. I love the read again as well. Looking at this game, open eyes to see if
Oriana, Nocturne 4-5 bany budou.
The Viego's already gone up against River, who's been a great carry on the past. With the Vi against Junja is a must take. Yeah, this is really interesting.
Vi, Aurora, Viego, Ash,
against 100 Thieves because PSG is really well known for banning, you know, against their opponents.
Oni banují dobře proti Riverovi. Mají dobrý, PSG mají dobrý bany. Hodně dobrý bany. Viego a Jarvan jsou mega dobrý bany proti 100 Thieves. To se mi líbí. Reálně River je jediný, kdo potáhá tu hru. 100 Thieves. Kvít je takový, že jako hraje safe strašně. On je takový, že nic nedělá, hraje safe a má jako damage, ale nepotáhá tu hru.
In both games in their previous series. So they're just going to target whatever they think you performed on well so far in the tournament. And with the Yone gone as well, we get our first pick and our first question to see how PSG...
Jak hraje Sniper úplně strašně špatně, jako reálně Sniper, nechápu ten jeho hype, hraje hrozně špatně. Úplně to chokeuje na tom Worlds. Je tam asi prostě ten choke z toho Rolf, no.
I really do associate Yone with Quid, so I'm interested to see what they are actually trying to set up for here. You know, if they're more concerned about that, but they're just going to go stock
First pick Oriana. Ty vole, let's go.
Nocturne combo. We saw 100 Thieves really dominate with it. We also saw them get dominated by it. We have seen this combo come out a couple of times. So now the question for 100 Thieves really becomes, you know, is it high enough prio that you need to actually deny it, or can you draft something else?
Ori je dobrá teď, no prostě Ori Nocturno jakoby je dobrý kombo pro 100 Thieves a oni to pikli away. Renekton. Mě to fakt překvapuje, že furt pikou to paře na first pick. 100 Thieves. Divný, je to divný, je to hodně divný. Tady by raději měli prostě piknout midař a jungle. Ale jako...
But also for his Renekton and his Jax, that is the kind of style that he is really well known for. And with the Sejuani coming through, Quid is also really a melee specialist here, so it definitely could be double melee solo lanes. The One is banned, but he could even take a page out of Maple's book and go towards something like
Oriana, okay.
if he wanted to bring out
Skarner byl first pickovaný každou hru a pak nic. Tady, já nevím, no, tady je to takový jako... Oni prostě piknou Renekton a nechají se counter piknout instantně s tím Gnárem. Sejuani Scar... Tady se to nelíbí moc ten draft 100 Thieves.
And I am, you know, thinking this is just like really strong team fight style here for PSG.
Okay, Havej pro Quida, jako Havej zahraje Quid. Ale tady mají mnohem lepší draft PSG, mají Wombo combo, Ori, Skarner, ale jsou fakt dobře připravení PSG. Zabanovali dva dobrý čampy proti 100 Thieves. A mají Oriana, Skarner, Gnar, Wombo combo, counter piknuli, prostě věděli, že piknou top lane 1-2 zase, 100 Thieves, tak
really strong. You can definitely play those control mages. It's not what I would really consider his style. You know, he is more known for the aggressive skirmish heavy champions, you know, things like Ahri if you're talking about AP, or a lot of these melee champions if you are not.
Real bad je good bad. Real by bylo hrozný Wombo combo s Orianou a s Gnárem a se Skarnerem.
I do kind of really favor what PSG has, especially after how Aja played on the Gnar the other day, has been looking so damn good on it.
Je to 14-18 patch. Pak budu dělat čajmy, jak byli Lucian ban, doesn't matter. Co dá zabanou dalšího supporta? Nějaký AoE supporta. Leona, Nautilus.
Yeah, it is really interesting
Fish Leona,
on red side in this
position,
you can sometimes really try to pinch the support pool, and that may be exactly what they are going to do. You ban out Rel, you ban out Nautilus, you can even take away a support here on 4 if you want, and really try to limit what Woody has. Woody is someone that does really like to go towards those hard
engage supports. By byl dobrý Rakan pro PSG, jestli to zahraje. Rakan, Alistar. S Orianou, Skarner, Gnarem. Aby to bylo mega good.
Is really a big fan of picks like Leona, and with the Braum getting banned out, it's possible that Ayla would want to look to try to take that away. Of course, Alistar is another good combo as well.
Okay.
They are instead going to go for the Varus and try to save Ayla's pick here for last to look to try to get
Jhin Leona, anebo Jhin Rak. Reálně bych se fakt nebyl Rakana, anebo Alistar, Jhin Alistar. Jhin Alistar je asi nejlepší reálně. Jhin Alistar je nejlepší tady, straight up.
First international as well. I mean, the guy couldn't win, you know, he couldn't win an OPL championship back in the day when I knew him in OCE, and
ale můžu dát Jhin Leona klidně. Leona je taky.
Not trying to rinse the guy, just letting you guys all know that first major stage here, we're going to have to see how he does with an R5 counter pick. As Tomo, by the way, quick tidbit, 6th unique champion. He's played a different champ each and every game as he now goes up against Betty on Jhin. This is something I've been talking about, you know, which is some of the different casters here about Tomo, is that I don't rate him, you know, incredibly highly on any particular champion. Fair enough. But he can play basically
fakt to udělali, hovno. Ty pičo, koučové PSG jsou insane. Oni jsou strašně dobře připraveni. Bandou River, Viego, Jarvan a prostě mají Oriana, Skarner, Gnar, Counterpick 1, 2, 3 a pak Jhin Alistar. Wow. Wow. Tady je to hodně dobrý. Renata je good, no. Renata je good tady. Renata je good pick. Na to jsem zapomněl. To je dobrý do Alistara, je to dobrý do Gnars Karner. Renata je taky huge, hey? Actually, Renata je taky huge. So it puts more pressure there on Woody, who has been, I think, a bit more up or down than I've kind of expected from him. I was really impressed with his play regionally, but hasn't been performing, I think, to his level so far here. But obviously, a lot of this comp is going to center around that potential Alistar-Orianna combo. The Jhin opens up, the Gnar is coming in on a flank, Junja is trying to come in on an interesting angle. You know, it's all about the kind of those first moments of the fight, and 100 Thieves being able to disengage, being able to stay spread. Kapesníka máme taky. Hej, balčík, hej.
Expecting him to go unhit and with play, I would expect him to win a lot of these front-to-back fights, as long as things don't go tragic with that shockwave.
Well, you have to think here, for PSG, I mean, they were really well known as a good team-fighting team. They all have that reliability.
Renata tady je fakt dobrá, hej.
Here at the Worlds,
good.
underwhelming. That's the biggest takeaway so far.
Ale furt má PSG lepší draft.
They've already lost VKE beside them.
Kolik jsem dnes, kolika ti uhádl? No dneska, jak jsem říkal, na začátku streamu jsem říkal, dneska bych nesázel, podle mě, dneska fakt nevím, kdo vyhraje, ale typu to anyway. A zatím jsem 2 správně, 1 špatně? Dneska? Je to tak? Nebo? Nebo? Jo, 2 správně, 1 špatně, no. Co teď? Teď nevím. Nevím, kdo vyhraje.
Last best of 3 before we go into the Swiss stage.
Yep, it's going to be an exciting one. We are through the
Reálně bych asi typoval PSG. Není asi ten úplně mega dobrý Gnar, by the way, actually. Oni pikli Renekton na 1-2 proti Gnar Vantrikovi. Wow. 100 Thieves dogshit draft. Nebo koučové. Si pamatuju, že tam byl nějaký Gnar Vantrik, krom Summita a hrál strašně dobře toho Gnara. A to byl asi, podle mě. Že hrál s mini Gnarem úplně huge a dal největší damage ve hře a strašně dobře spaceoval fighty. Znáš kouče 100 Thieves jsou good? Znám Golden Glue a jako... Je to kámoš, je to felák, ale nemyslím si, že to je dobrý trenér. Ten druhý trenér je good, ten Spooks. Ten Spooks je dobrý trenér. Tady lane swapujou, aha.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, 100 Thieves should not be surprised by this. This is honestly pretty smart here for PSG. You have Alistar, one of the worst early laners here, going up against a Varus, and a Renata is going to be incredibly tough. PSG are going to dual lane their top and ADC up in that top lane. They do have the Skarner taking away the enemy jungle camp, so we'll have to see if River can get down and cross map.
Mid lane je nová bot lane, prostě tam hrajou 2v2.
Sniper, the 100 Thieves soul laners are the ones kind of just 2v2ing here. So it's a very interesting setup. You know, we see a lot more of these kind of dual lanes mid. This is something that was really popularized in the LCK, but it was a lot more of when we had that kind of AD carry meta, both supports would go mid. And just like essentially what looked like bot lanes laning mid.
Yeah, it looks like the strangest configuration. Imagine if you're just starting to watch League now and you're like, wait, or at least coming back to what happened to my game as we get a 3-man push in bot. Massive wave here. Remembering bot turret is always going to be the squishier.
Exactly. It's been
Rok jsem nehrál oko, co se to děje. Nic, to je pohoda, neboj. Prostě bot lane je nový top lane a mid lane je nová bot lane.
They are here. PSG's going to try to defend this, but they're TPing in.
Archer is level 3. He's on a Mega Gnar as well. He gets a stun down, but there's no aggro yet. Flash and set from Sniper. We're looking at the picture, but Woody's about to...
Wow, Woody zahrál dobře. Wow, Woody! Ty magore! Ty magore, Woody to zahrál výborně, ten Alistar to... Hej, tady bude huge ten Alistar a pofarmit celou vlnu Gnar. Ježišmarja, tak to je over pro 100 Thieves. Nebo over, ale prostě je to mega bad. Gnar bude, Gnar je level a půl ahead. Level a půl ahead. Crazy. A ten Alistar hraje fakt dobře. A tuhle hru by Alistar měl být huge. Jako Alistar je mega dobrý. Doran jak to na Sejuani. Varu se HV. Si jdu udělat ten čaj, ať prostě tady nekašlu to. Se prozradili, že tam je tomu. Ale tady jako Gnar bude huge a ten Gnar potom zničí Renektona, hej, protože to je counterpick. Je to takové, nevím.
So now Sniper is going to be missing out on a lot of this, and I don't really think 100 Thieves are in a position to actually pressure Aja off. We'll see if River comes down and tries to do that, because they're kind of forced to make a play here. It looks like Ayla, though, is going to base, and he's going to try to walk top and get Sniper back towards this wave, get him picking up some of the CS. So even though 100 Thieves got 2-plate spot, even though they got first blood, it's evened out by the fact that PSG is getting more farm, and Sniper really got punished. He's gotten zoned off completely.
And again, I mean, still getting sniped off, or rather, sorry, zoned off. No pun intended, no meaning. That first plate is eventually going to fall on down. You can see bot as well. Arja was walking over a ward that was between waves. I believe that just expired as he was crossing back down to the bot wave. So they keep it same. While Ayla clears out is now also spotted on a ward, so respect is given by PSG.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Ayla, they realize, okay, we can't actually dive the Gnar, so I just have to go top to try to cover and continue moving around the map here. We do see that Betty has those Swifties. He's going to be going right back out towards top, so we'll see if 100 Thieves does anticipate that or exactly what their move is going to be as Tomo has the wave crashing in. He's going to be able to pick this up and is in a really good spot.
Are you still excited by these? I mean, I don't know if you initially were, but lane swaps? Emily still loves lane swaps, I think, but what camp are you in these days?
Yeah, I mean, I think lane swaps can be really interesting. I mean, my feeling on lane
Co
swaps
se stalo, jak zabili Alistara? Jo, to byli na tom diveu to zabili.
I like seeing innovation, I like seeing variety.
Nic jsem nemyslel, ne?
But when anything becomes an every game, then it gets less interesting to me.
And to be fair, it's not an every game anymore. And also the lane swaps changed, like top laners playing.
Tak, Gnar má, vole, level ahead, to je huge.
Seeing where people can try to evolve a strategy and push it forward to create, you know, additional advantages, right? And that's something that in the LCS, TL was really well known for doing.
Tak, dobrý swapos na gruby. Gnar využije hrozně dobře gruby, by the way, jo. Tady PSG vemou gruby a reálně jako Gnar využije gruby jak svině proti tomu.
100 Thieves though coming over to potentially contest, but they are pretty late.
Fight.
They are indeed flash away.
Proč to fightí, by the way?
Really early into the fight. Two grubs have
Proč
already
to
been taken by
fightí?
PSG.
Proč to 100 Thieves fightí?
He's got a level advantage with the permafrost as well.
To je
He's
divný,
running for
ne?
his life. Archer just killed
Gnar tam
Tomo.
solo killne Varuse, protože prostě nevím, proč Varus je 1v1 proti Gnarovi.
Yeah, Tomo getting caught out there. I'm not
Hra je
sure if he
over.
even gone back to base.
Nebo ne over, ale prostě je to dobré pro PSG
I don't
hodně.
know. I mean, he maybe thought that he was actually going to be safe. He didn't have flash, so probably just got ran down. We did see that flash from Ayla. That was the shockwave used from Maple that, you know, was able to kind of force that.
Yeah.
But it does allow 100 Thieves to at least take one of those grubs away. Aja, I talked about it. This guy's Gnar is very scary. He's been performing really well on it, and it's definitely a concern to see him getting ahead. Sniper, you know, was definitely not in a good spot out of these lane swaps, and yeah, just no flash on Tomo, and just going to get caught by the Mega Gnar pretty much guaranteed here.
Looks like it's going to be a W into an ult shortly.
Yeah.
Arja just clean play. Set up early.
Yeah, nicely done. I mean, Tomo just not necessarily seeing the angle for that. Thought he was going to be safe, was pretty far back, but the Mega Gnar hop in, able to catch him.
And it comes back to something you mentioned earlier, Azale, as well. We look at that Mercedes-Benz featured matchup. It's not about the players I'm going to talk about right now, as Maple and River go head-to-head, some history there. My point was going to be that, you know, you mentioned Sniper wasn't getting too much from that lane. The CS advantage now rearing its head as Arja has just stayed towards bot. He's got a kill as well. 620 gold up is a massive lead for the star player, or one of the star players, when PSG put so much resources into this guy, naturally anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's in an incredible spot. You know, Sniper obviously has been put down quite a lot in this lane swap, and this is one of the things that they talked about as kind of a weakness for him. You know, this is the youngest player in all of Worlds here playing. This guy was a tiny little kid when the lane swaps were out last night. Like, he had to fully learn this from scratch and wasn't used to it.
Fake it, you know, even before.
Zase mluví o sniperovi, že mu je 17, nebo co? To je škoda, že tady Alistar nedal kombo na to Sejuani, to mohli zabít. Ale tady nic neudělají, 100 Thieves. Tady reálně, kdyby to hodně feeloval ten cápek s tím Gnárem, tak mohl přijít sem, flashnout na ně, Foreman je ultnout do zdi a Oriana by move. Jakoby.
But 100 Thieves here, not able to pull off the dive on the bot side, well defended by PSG, and PSG opening up a nice advantage. And as I said, I kind of expect them to play the better macro game than 100 Thieves. So if 100 Thieves are gonna fail on one of these early fights, I'm gonna get really concerned for their chances in this game because PSG.
Gnar je positionutý na to, aby dal 1v9 tuhle hru reálně.
So much better than what 100 Thieves is doing, and as a result, the Renekton's been put very far behind, and as we know,
je ahead, je proti Renektonovi. 1v1 na sidelane, Heavy ho nezastaví na sidelane, má 2 gruby, pokud by teďka získali 4 nebo 5 grubů, tak bych si tvrdil říct, že jako PSG jsou na 80% vyhráli. Gnar hraje pěkně, on je dobrý ten hráč. On je dobrý hráč, ten Gnar. Kdo má lepší draft? PSG o dost. Ale Renata zachraňuje ten draft hodně. 600 goldů na Gnárovi, 1-0-1. Ty gruby budou hodně zajímavý. Za 30 vteřin jsou grubíci a ty budou hodně zajímavý. Takže hodně zajímavý.
Against Betty here and seeing if that's going to work out better for them. Woody's back again. Junja's just going to hover around mid. 15 seconds till the grub spawn.
Tady jestli 100 Thieves nechají grubíky, PSG, pokud budou mít PSG 5 grubů, tak je to fakt jako... Tak je to fakt jako si myslím, že over, jakože reálně over. Pokud PSG nebudou intit nějak extra, pokud to prostě nebude, pokud si někdo nezlomí ruce, reálně oni nemusí fightit. Oni reálně, pokud mají teďka 5 grubů a defnou tier 1 bot lane, což vypadá, že tam Oriana běží s tím, s TPčkem. Oriana tam běží s TPčkem. Tady defnou a budou mít 5 grubů. Teď v tenhle moment nemusí fightit. Nemusí fightit ani a vyhrajou jakoby. Tady teď reálně by všichni měli takhle by měli dát ruce. We are not Tom Shelby. No fucking fighting. No fucking fighting. A prostě Gnar split push. A vyhráli hru. That's it. Legit. Pokud Gnar bude teďka proti swap Oriana na top lane nebo na mid lane a Gnar na bot lane. Prosím swap. Oriana by neměla být proti Renektonovi. Jako reálně Gnar by měl být proti Renektonovi. To by bylo mega huge. A Oriana proti Varus, proti její botlince. Mike, nehraj ten deadlock, kurva. Nevidím na minimapu. Alistar běží s Gnárem, to je good. Ale Gnár by měl hrát do Renektona a měl by split pushovat s těmi 5 grubama. On by hitoval věž jak blázen. Maple to taky, sniper je tak behind, že actually reálně to nevadí. Dívej, sniper level 8, kámo, on je tak monster behind, že prostě tady Oriana veme turetu. Maple hraje krásně, dobrá ult na pouk. Dobrá ult na pouk, teď může zase pouk. To je huge, kámo, to je huge. Oni ještě berou draka, jebečí. To si jako fakt dovolí ten Skarner vzít draka, to je moc. Má flash. Flash out. A čus. Wow. Borci, tahle hra je over, legit. Nebo takhle není, ale prostě je, vole. Ta hra je over. Teďka Gnar veme další pláty, Oriana veme další pláty, ta hra je prostě over. Wow. Ty vole. A Varus dostane za solo kill, by the way, jo, pokud bude proti Gnarovi. Gnar solo kill na Varuse. Ale musí si postavit item, protože Varus už má blade. Ty vole. PSG hrajou pěkně.
And 100 Thieves are going to be in a really tough spot. Again, Archer, he's not at the top there, but he's the player I'm watching for this game. Tomo, the leader of 100 Thieves, thanks to the earlier kill he got, but You've got a 1.1k gold lead in top lane, a 30 CS lead. Just a player who, you know, historically you wouldn't remember.
Mají fakt pěkný draft, mají wombo combo a jejich Oriana a Gnar budou ahead z toho, že mají pět grubíků. Teďka získávají plátečky za plátečkama. Ta Oriana jako toho... Škoda, že ten jediný, co bych jim vytknul, je, že ten Gnar není proti Orianě. To je taková malinká škoda. Ale nevadí to až tak moc. Ale je to jako rozhodně by jim to pomohlo, kdyby Gnar byl proti Renektonovi. Bylo by to mnohem lepší. Co dělají grubici? Dávají true damage, dávají větší damage do věží a spavnuješ další neutrální monstra na věže. A jako Maple toho Renektona taky zničí, jo, takže... Herald reálně to jako neřešíš. Wow, ult! Betty, ult! Pome! Dej mu ult, škoda, ale nechává si ult na Heralda. Ale Betty mohl zaultit HV a mohl vyhrát tím Herald fight. A tady bych... Gnar mega flank! Alistar flank! To je over! To je Jover! Ale naintili to, ale nevadí to. Špatně zahráli to kombo, ale to je tak Jover. Pane bože. Alistar hraje fakt pěkně a ten Alistar pick je huge tuhle hru, jako huge. Fakt huge. A Jhin mezi tím farmí a vkuje celou hru. To AD je funny. Ale tady byl nádherný flank, úplně nádherný flank. Alistar šel tudma, Mega Gnar byl tady a měl flank tady. Tady bylo illegal to, že oni kontestí Heralda. Proč 100 Thieves kontestí? Dívej. Proč kontestí Heralda? Flank! Tady ten Gnar, a i kdyby Alistar neměl flank, tak ten Gnar, kdyby se nebál a dal tam flash ult, když má Mega Gnar, tak to vyhraje. Ale ten Alistar to vyhrál, jo? Nekresli mi přesto, tady kreslím já, kurva. Prostě nádherný flankos a nádherný flankos. Ale reálně, ten Alistar flank nebyl potřebný, pokud by Gnar zahrál líp. Ta hra je tak, to je tak over.
Golden glue as well. I mean, as he should. This game is really out of hand already. It's 15 minutes in. And it felt like it started, you know, with the lane swap. It felt like the map movement from PSG was always quicker, always snappier. You look at the Master lane economy snapshot.
Mně prostě přijde, že tam není tam nikdo chytrý v tom týmu, aby řekl, tohle Herald nekostestíme, tyhle grubíky kontestíme, jinak prohrajem hru. Jo, že prostě...
You know, a big part of this region, if not one of the biggest parts of the PCS. And he's performing well. He's been the best performing member of PSG so far this tournament too.
Absolutely. I mean, the featured matchup is River versus Maple. I think back to like Maple Karsa and even, you know, even further back when, you know, the LMS, as it was known those days, were really known as the Korean Killers. They were able to take down some really big series against some good LCK teams. Were kind of famous for that and the level that they could perform in those big matches. But 100 Thieves, you know, they took that Herald fight, and that might kind of be the straw that broke Campbell's back in game number 1. You know, it's tough to say that this early on, but yes, they were falling behind, but they were within reach of
nebyla to nuda sledovat dřív, to lolko. Sice tam nebyli Heraldi, grubíci a tak, ale bylo to zábavný anyway, sledovat tu dobu. Tady zabije ještě. Škoda. Heraldos, tady by mohli dát Heralda na mid a pak Heralda na bot dev, anebo na tier 2 top. Co dělá ten Tomo? Však ho zabíjí. Ten Skarner ho teď zabije. Kámo, Tomo, halo? Co? Proč se snaží zautit Skarnera, ten Tomo? No nic, borci.
It's looking rough for 100 Thieves. PSG are making this look absolutely easy in game number 1. And they're just pushing forward.
Jakáže je ta zkrátka NA? Co to znamená to NA? Chat, vysvětlí to někdo mě? Já to neznám, tu zkrátku NA.
A 7k gold lead, 5 grubs, a drag, and keep stacking it up because PSG in game 1, their adaptation and their glow up so far at Worlds is definitely going up in stocks.
I mean, this is by far the best game PSG have played so far at Worlds. They are looking
Aleš tohle koučoval. Není tam ani jeden hráč, kterýho jsem koučoval koučoval 100 Thieves. A v ten moment, kdy já jsem koučoval 100 Thieves, tak z týmu, který byl 7. nebo 8., tak jsme byli 3krát ve finále a jednou jsme ho vyhráli. Takže bych zase jako nepoužil tohle. Není to relevantní akade. Jak insane jsou Kněžínkovi jako trenéři, když prostě 100 Thieves byli 7. nebo 8. a pak se mnou byli první, druzí, nebo první, druzí, ano. Čtvrtí, první, druzí, takhle to bylo. A Tomáš, Fnatic, 8. tým, a potom třetí, druzí. Něco mi říká, že by prostě měli hirenout nás Kněžínky jako kouče. Vyhráli bychom Wolf.
If this doesn't tell you the dire straits they're in as he flashes away, then nothing will. It's only game 1, but at 19 minutes, it's almost done.
Yeah, it's looking pretty over to me. Quid, the lone surviving member here. Maple was on a flank there, coming in 1v1ing Tomo from behind. As an Oriana here, they know the powerful position.
Jsem tady slyšel za ego Kněžínka, tak musím glazovat sebe a svého bráky, ne, když jsme tak insane. Maple hraje tu Orianu taky hodně pěkně. Ty grubíci jsou fakt jako, to je crazy, ty grubíci, no.
And I know you wanted to see more from Woody. I think the package is working together, so Woody is too. At least that gives you a bit more. Game 2, a reset for 100 Thieves. Yes, we're already saying that. You can look at the scoreboard. I don't need to read it out again. It is beyond belief at this point. The best game from PSG in the tournament. And we're ready to come into this talking up players like
NA equals Need Aleš.
You know, we can mention that in the next game. So many good elements here. But PSG just haven't given it a chance to breathe. There's been nothing that 100 Thieves. Like I'm looking for positivity in this game from 100 Thieves, and I'm struggling to find it.
Yeah, there's not really
anything going for them. You know, I think that early dive bot, went okay. You got the gold line. Ale nevím kam. Mě ten můj, já si musím změnit obecního doktora, protože nebo praktika, protože ten můj prostě praktický lékař. Já tam kdykoliv tam přijdu, tak on se na mě dívá, jak kdybych byl hypochonder. Což já teda jako jsem low-key, ale úplně mě má ten judgment look, jakože jsi mladý, proč ke mně chodíš, nic ti není. Pak jdu do nemocnice a v nemocnici mi udělají krevní testy kvůli ty trombóze a řeknou mi, vy máte úplně na piču krevní testy, WTF, běžte si to řešit s praktikem, proč to jako neřešíte? A já, no já jsem 3 měsíce zpátky byl u praktika na krevních testech a on mi řekl, že to je v pohodě, že ty levely jsou trošku zvětšený, ale že to nevadí. A prostě to je starý praktik, ne? A mladý doktor v nemocnici. Pane bože, běžte to řešit, pane bože, máte úplně na hovno krevní testy. Prostě já nevím, kámo. Prostě ty staří doktoři mají tak strašně v piči, že to je, oni neřeší prevenci, oni řeší jenom, když už máš, prostě když už umíráš na smrtelný posteli, tak v ten momentě začnou léčit. Místo toho, aby léčili prostě prevenci, nebo aby ti dávali prevenci. Nemůžeš jít rovnou na plicní. Blbý je v Česku, že já když jdu rovnou někam na specializovaný obor, tak oni mě vyhejtí, že to neřeším s praktikem. A já jim pak řeknu, no ale můj praktik je govnu. Ten mi řekne, že mi nic není a pošle mě domů.
Azale 2024 MSI FlyQuest, PSG knocked them out of the play-in stage.
I mean, there's no shame in losing to PSG. This is an incredibly good team.
That's also true.
You know, I don't think have really shown up in the way that people expected coming into, play-ins.
Jo, já si chci změnit praktika, jenže já mám prostě takový ten social autismus, že se prostě bojím tam přijít a říct, že potřebuji svoji složku, abych šel jít k jinému praktikovi.
Then they went 5 games against BLG. They almost took BLG in a best of 5, which is incredible to think about. So PSG, when they are playing at their best, this team really can
Řekni, že se stěhuješ? Fintička. Že se stěhuju. To je fintička. Takže já tam přijdu a řeknu, hele, já se stěhuju, potřebuji složku. Dík novýmu a oni si to přepošlou mezi sebou. OK. Tak já zkusím jít k tomu dalšímu a řeknu mu to. To je takový mladý, to jsem dostal doporučení, že prej jako řeší problémy, tak jak bych chtěl. Dneska je to všechno přes internety, OK. Chci zadarmo a nejkvalitu ze všeho, já bych si to zaplatil. Mě nedělá problém platit za doktory. Já jsem reálně platil za doktory mordu v Americe. Jdi k novému a řekni mu, jaký je tvůj aktuální a on si vyžádá tvoji složku. Vypadá to na sniper retire. Jako říkal, no, že jestli se nekvalifikují z playinu, takže dá retire. Mám pikem, no, vykřičník pikem jsou YouTube video s pikem. Ale už mi to nevíde to pikem, protože jsem dal IPSG a 100 Thieves, že postoupí se do Swissu. As we can see in the picture-in-picture, Sniper just trying to claw some gold here off the map, trying to get something back here. Líbí se mi ten Oriant byl, krásně. Seravs do Liandry do Deadcapu. Nejlepší byl. Medlines mám taky. Já jsem nevěřil, že to dají ty, že Pain Gaming postoupí, jsem nevěděl.
They can. Chunja can't die. He's almost a 3-item scanner, and with the range that they have, PSG now are breaking down turrets, inhibitors to go as well. This will be double. And let's just see PSG fully commit to the end. What have they got to lose?
Tady problém, to, co je warring pro 100 Thieves do příští hry, když se na to podíváš, tak je, že nevěděli, jak zahrát lane swap, snažili se tam divenout, ten botlane se nedivuje, protože když je tam super, tak to nedivne. Support, když tak to nediveneš. Top lanera a supporta jako Alistar prostě nediveneš. Navíc to tam ten Alistar zahrál dobře. To je první warring trend, že oni neví, jak hrát ten lane swap. Druhý warring trend je, že reálně špatně swap hrajou kolem grubu. Že oni prostě neví, že když oni mají druhá věc je draft. Oni piknou Renekton na 1-2 a nechají se counter piknout Gnárem, když ten člověk je Gnar one trick. To je disgusting, to je legit bannable. To bych zabanoval, ty trenéry bych zabanoval. To jsou dvě věci. Třetí věc je, oni neví ve hře in-game, ti hráči, že když mají Gnára, split pushera, tak nesmíš dát víc jak 4 gruby. Měl bys reálně udělat group swap 5-30, aby si měl 3 gruby a pak jim můžeš nechat 3 gruby. 3 na 3 gruby je v pohodě. 4 na 2 gruby už je problém. 5 na 1 grup je game losing a 6 je straight up game loss. Jo? Když mají Gnára a oni jim nechají tyhle ty gruby split pushinky. Ještě byl ahead z toho swapu, že jo, ten Gnar full level. To jsou hodně warring věci. Já to pak budu muset napsat všechno. Smolder first pick pochybu. Gnar ban, OK. Good. Teď zase vemu Renekton 1-2, ne? Teď si uvědomili, hej, tady je to problém, vememe Renekton na 1-2. Musíme zabanovat to, musíme zabanovat Gnara. Teď si to uvědomili, kámo, ach jo. Ziggs, OK. Chat, už je tam Pedro, já to vyzkouším, jestli Pedro funguje, jo, je za 499. Kde pak ho mám? Ty pičo, moc nahlas! Ty Ty magore, tak to slumuju.
499 korun českých.
Pane bože.
Name is Bill.
Pane bože, mě to odmrdalo. Odmrdalo mě to sluch. Tak, Jonese Johnny Gragas, no to snad ne. Rumble do Renektona, to si věří ten topař. A ten Azhi je good, ten Azhi je good. Podle mě Azhi je nejlepší hráč PSG, takže mu věřím na Rumblemu. Proti Renektonovi. Renekton by měl být dobrý. Dávám to na 70% od Pedra. A je to 499 a Bobber dáme 500 a podělám Bejra, protože Bejr je moc scary. To nejde udělat. Renekton mid? To není good. Renekton mid není good. Renekton potřebuje long lane, aby abuzoval svůj all-in. Za A, a.k.a. top lane, a za B Jonáš ani není tak špatný do Renektona. Aatrox? Mid? Mohlo by to být Aatrox mid. Ale to je to stejný. Šaty, díval jsem se na Throne Liberty, to vypadá to hodně dobře. Nešlo to vidět to Pedro, ok. Já to pak zkusím to.
How successful it will be. You know, if you look at the Soul Lane's 400 Thieves, you'd be like, they could really use a Sejuani, but unfortunately, Jinja has taken that away on the other side. And already you have to feel like 100 Thieves are kind of locked into a very early game comp, right?
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna have Zigzbot, you're gonna have these kind of like early mid game bruisers in mid and in top, regardless of where they do go. So they are gonna be really low on damage as far as that's concerned into the later stages, especially if there's like a safe AD carry that's locked in from Betty. We saw Zaya a couple times in the earlier series, something like that could be strong. I think even an Ezreal could be quite strong in this kind of situation.
Ezreal's a good pull out as well.
Je Vi open? Je Vi open, měli by zabanovat Vi. PSG.
I would be a little bit kind of like unsure about, just because you know Renekton and Aatrox are going to be looking to jump on you.
Maximálně jdu za 8. Shivanu zabanovali, aha.
An AD carry that can have
S Golden Blue jsem se potkal někdy, jo? Bydlel ve stejném komplexu jak já.
It's not that PSG couldn't win without that, and I mean if you overcommit to
a trénoval Akademii, 100 Thieves Academy, když jsem trénoval Rel Zix je good. Tohle je dobré zatím. A pokud by reálně pikli Vi potom, tak by to bylo huge. Ale jako chcou víc AP, ale solo AP Zix je taky good. Ezreal.
Versatility around this very heavy dive.
Exactly. I mean, you could just play cleanse Ezreal, and then all of a sudden it gets very difficult to lock this guy down, right? Like really with this kind of comp, already what they want to do is they want to lock someone in place, and they want to Zigzalt on their head, and they want to instantly kill off that carry. Yone, lots of mobility. Ezreal, lots of mobility. This becomes so much more difficult already through the draft that PSG have grabbed. I think if you just go something defensive, you know, some sort of like kind of safety support.
Ezreal, Rakan by mohli klidně.
Or like an Alistar that could
Rakan by tady byl
these carries out.
Alistar je fajn.
On the 100 Thieves side, I think it would be really
Ty pičo, PSG, vy jste magoři! Vy jste kurva gods! No nic, oni jsou magoři! Pussies! Kámo, Rakan by byl huge! Alistar je víc safe, Alistar je takový moc safe, Rakan by byl fakt huge, kámo, ale je to těžší zahrát.
PSG, they know that
Clip it and ship
need
it.
some sort of AP carry in the jungle.
Lilia
AP,
okay.
Soul laners, so they banned out the brand, they banned
A
out
počkej, není Lilia jako non-existent champ, že dostala tak velký nerfy na tomhle patchi?
It's quite strong in this draft. It's 4 melees over on the PSG side, which is kind of that dream for the Lilia. So this could be the X factor here, potentially 400 Thieves. If River could really get going and have a great game on this Lilia,
více fun je, že oni prostě musí last pickovat jungle, protože River je jejich nejlepší hráč a jediný hráč v těch 100 Thieves, co potáhá. Jak set to je, že prostě reálně jediný člověk, co potáhá v 100 Thieves je ten jungle. A jungle competitive není silná jak solo queue, víš? Solo queue je jungle mnohem silnější. Co říkám tady, jako vzhledem k první hře bych řekl, že PSG vyhraje. Aatrox je dobrý do Rumbleho s Hexdrinkem, ale ten Rumble hraje, ten asi hraje fakt dobře. jsou favorites, protože jsou... Draft není... Hele, draft je docela even. Víc, nebo není even. 60-40 pro PSG je draft, jo? Ale PSG jsou lepší hráči.
This would be history making, this would be history breaking. PSG this year knocked out FlyQuest at MSI. And now up against 100
Hodně nám řekne, za prvních 10 minut nám řekne hodně, kdo jako vyhraje.
Will they start writing their own history, or 100 Thieves got more in the bank than they let on in that first game?
Yeah, we'll have to find out if 100 Thieves can bounce back here. It is a very different style of composition. It's very skirmish heavy here, and it's going to come down to a lot of these early fights.
Hej, jako je to 50-50 draft.
When you have these types of comps that are kind of binary, it's just a lot of melee.
Hodně se mi tam líbí ta Lilia do těch milíček, ale já si myslím, nedostala Lilia hrozně velký nerv na tomhle peči. Tak ten Renekton leží, ne? On děje, jak si lehne. Dívej, jak leží. To je funny.
Maple going towards the ground.
Prostě lehne.
This is that kind of new meta as Fleet has really fallen out of favor, you know, even on these melee champions, but especially on the range champions, a lot more people are.
Hele, takhle, když bys ten draft vpravo dal nějakému LPL týmu, tak ten vpravo draft vyhraje proti tomu draftu vlevo. Hra E11, 111, děkuji za ty jedničku. Hele, fakt jako... Grasp na Jone, proč? Footwork dostal tolikrát nerv, že Grasp je vždycky lepší. Kamera dolů, dobře.
Yep, absolutely. And Betty, as I was expecting, is going to go cleanse, so could be very difficult to lock him down. You know, if Woody just even goes towards like a locket, you just go that kind of defensive style. You just need to keep Betty on this Ezreal alive. He really is going to be one of the biggest problems here for 100 Thieves, especially as he goes towards the Renektona, ten Quid.
Ale myslím si, že Quid, pokud nehraje Orianu nebo HVE, tak to neumí hrát. Jone je prostě lepší champ než Renekton.
It's pretty easy to hit 3-4 melee champions that are just kind of running at you with Qs.
I mean, again, yeah. That's what I love about these drafts for both sides, though, is that, as you said, alluding to this game, it feels like it's going to be brawl heavy. It's going to be kind of in your face. I am going to track River a little bit here because he's clearing towards the top side. Bot here for Junja, and while I have your attention at home, I kind of want to mention that it's something that you left us with after the first game, is that River has had a good tournament so far. 100 Thieves have been in question a lot, but I think the best performing player is this jungler. And I really hope he bounces back after what was probably his worst game at Worlds.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even in their loss versus R7, he was
Oni zase zkoušeli Sejuani, 100 Thieves, první hru. River musí hrát carryčko. Straight up musí prostě last pickovat a hrát carryčko, protože pak to potáhá. To třeba ten Viego, jak hrál, tak to potáhal jak blázen.
A champion that has a lot of pressure on him to really get things done in this game, which could be their final game here at Worlds. So we'll see if River can step up and really make something happen, as he has been 400 Thieves, you know, all year long.
And again, as a player who I highly respect after watching a lot of VODs in their journey into playoffs, especially the C9 series, so pivotal.
Ten Renekton, teda Rumble Aatrox matchup na top lane je, že Aatrox prohrává do té doby, než si koupí Hexdrinker a pak ho musí all-inout. Jo, on vyhraje ten matchup tím stylem, že prostě dá ult a snaží se zabít Rumbleho 100-0. A když má možnost to dělat, takhle all-inovat, tak vyhraje.
Can't find those plays around the top side, and that is a question because he is set up very well with Maple, with Aja, you know, these double melee soul laners. But River could try to get ahead of the curve here. We can see the push coming in from Aja up on top side. You can Junja just up top to try to cover, but not going to look for any sort of play. He will just be recalling, and River going to do his Raptors here. Obviously did them to start, and there's flashing bot.
It is a flash engage, ignites down straight away.
Kam flashnul.
Flashes backwards to crash down maybe, but he's about to be auto. Betty flashes in, gets the mystic shot after getting first blood.
Upsík.
Ayla can't be doing that in potentially their final game.
Oopsie.
Yeah, that is rough. Quid taking a good trade mid, but does it even matter with first blood going over to Betty there? That was definitely a misclick. There's just no way he's looking to actually flash back in that position. A panic moment from Ayla cost them big time. as it's going to be Ezreal, really, as I said, the last person you want to get that gold, because this guy is going to be such a nightmare for them to deal with later on in the game. If you allow him to get accelerated,
flashnul směrem k letišti.
For 100 Thieves to ever take him down. Over 4 years in the North American scene, it's such a big moment for this bot lane, especially.
Hey, ten byl good.
But as Maple hovers around mid, we draw our attention close. He now roams and looks for something to see if he can catch off this mid Yone. Yeah, I mean, Ayla obviously is a pretty experienced player, not at the international level. They are going to look. A nice snap back there from Maple. But, you know, played in the OPL, has been around, you know, the LCS and the LCS.
Hele, dívej, pokud jo nebude event na levelu 7-8 proti Renektonovi, tak vyhrál hru, nebo vyhrál linku. Což asi bude. Tady uvidíme, boom. Boom, dobrý engage od Woodyho jak svině. Hej, ten Woody toho Alistara hraje fakt dobře, on hrál i tu první hru fakt dobře. Že udělal fakt dobrý kombíčka na botu, zachránil dive na botu, dobře flankoval, ten Woody hraje dobře tu Alistara.
And he knows it, a bit of a laugh there, you know, trying to keep the mood good, but your heart has to kind of sink into your stomach when you have a moment like that and you know you are one game away from being eliminated here at Worlds.
As we look towards mid, let's pause on that thought. Level 6 is available for both of them as River and Junja are now getting involved. But Junja sits there first on top of Quid and he's got a melee mid.
On bude tak 6 CS behind, ne? Jole. Pokud lázine teďka dobře. Na 10. Ale není zase špatný. Tady by to možná mohli fightit. To by mohli fightit. Fight! Quid naintil. Proč to nefajtí? Quid použil všechny své spely na vlnu, tam mohli zkusit fightit.
Are feeling confident to take this fight, but are just walking down first. Sniper had to back away. The wave pushed up against him.
Já vím, on Maple musel zautit, hej. A pak nějak flashnout out a zase pěkný kombičko. Můj bože, grilling, papa. Ty vole. No nic. Ten Alistar dává 1v9, kámo. A mně se strašně líbí, že ten Alistar, ono to je simple hrozně, ale ten Alistar využívá toho, že když dá dvojitý Včko do zdi, tak je to stunne na chvíli, takže on nedává dvojitý Včko k Včko hned, ale on dá dvojitý Včko, počká půl vteřiny, kdy je ten stun a pak dá k Včko. A že úplně midmaxuje jeho prostě čampiona.
He was already 20 CS up, and as those numbers come back up,
yeah, and now he has 2 kills. Like he is completely ahead of Sniper.
Jak tohle porazilo C9, nevím.
Already out of this lane, absolutely. You can see the Exalt used there to just try to clear the wave. 100 Thieves in a terrible spot here. 7 minutes into the game, you're already 2K down. This is a nightmare spot for them to be in. And again, it's at one of these setups at the objectives, they just really feel completely out of sorts. I mean, you called it. Sniper is back in base. He's TPing back. You cannot be positioning that aggressively without him around. They just go for an easy engage there onto River. Ayla completely whiffs on his crash down, and it's a couple easy kills there for the Rumble.
And then all in the meanwhile, Betty just keeps whittling away at the bot side. Let's watch the setup yet again.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem, right? The TP is up there. You know, we can see that the Aatrox is not anywhere near.
Krásný chain CC.
I don't know what that crash was from Ayla, but he unfortunately goes right down into the equalizer. River, you know, they just shouldn't have even been there until the Aatrox is there, right? I think that their composition can fight pretty strongly at that first grubs, but Sniper needs to be with you. You have to be a 4-man squad.
Myslíš, že PSG má šanci ve Swiss proti UNA?
I think you have an opportunity to really make something happen. Get onto a target like Aja or Maple, try to lock them down and burst them down. We know that Woody had no flash from the altercation in the bot side, so there were targets that they could actually punish, but again,
jako
they
proti
show
Fnatic
up, they
nebo
don't have all their
G2
members
asi ne.
together, and PSG just instantly
Možná
crushed
proti
them.
Fnatic.
Sniper's going to go all in here. Aja is about to burn
On
out.
postavil Max první item, aha.
Dragons going down for PSG bot.
Já jsem si celkem jistý, že se staví Hexdrinker a ASAP, protože Hexdrinker je důležitý, ne Mercs. I don't know.
Magic Orb, I can't even remember the name. Let's just
I guess Works.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's the baby Morellonomicon.
Baby Morellonomicon. that I just picked up, so healing be damned for Sniper, who's only got Merc Treads.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be obviously pretty effective there in top lane.
Does Sniper win this? Let's find out. He hits all the sweet spots.
Kdyby měl Hexdrinker, tak to vyhraje. Actually? očividně to vyhraje. Anyway. Ale kdyby měl Hextinger, tak to 100% vyhraje.
Yeah, that's a big moment. Ayla here waiting on the side. We'll see if they can find anything more. They need those kind of plays to be able to come back in this game. PSG already were in a great spot and do have the better scaling composition here. But unfortunately for Sniper, no TP. He gets killed by Junja. And then as a result, you're kind of really not getting nearly as much as you want. If he got that kill, got to push out the wave and have it crash, he'd be in a great spot. But he loses multiple waves to his tower afterwards, and the wave is going to bounce away from him. So this is like a net of like negative, 12, 15 CS even compared to had Junja not been there.
Flash, Quid, disengaged from no Mega Inferno on the flank. Catches two on the way out, and Maple has to flash. Woody's now caught up in the action as well as Quid doesn't have the Ruthless Predator. He used it here on Maple. They're going to get some summoners out, and if Woody wasn't there, I think Maple would have been in a lot of trouble.
Absolutely, Aja makes the roam down as well. River trying to interrupt these recalls, is able to do so onto Woody, and is going to be able to take away some of these camps. 100 Thieves, yes, everything early went kind of disastrous, but with this composition, you cannot afford to just say, all right, let's sit back. You need to keep playing with confidence. You need to keep looking for these skirmishes and say, you know what? Memory of a goldfish, let's just forget what happened earlier and let's just keep playing to the strengths of the composition, because if you sit back, you're guaranteed to lose. They're in a really rough spot, but at least if you take some fights, you have some opportunities to get some outplays, to make something happen and try to claw your way back, because it is do or die for the LCS number 3 team.
As the wave crashes or at least gets closer to Aja, I'm not sure about the freeze there, but the next wave is coming in, so it's in a very good spot where Woody now trying to take advantage of it.
A hraje se Dalen Dawson, ale nehraje jako co-op stream s Heisetem, Flaganem, Herdinem je ve středu.
He also needs a cover in River, who's moving top anyway because of the 20-second timer that grubs are now spawning too.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Sniper obviously just so down as far as the itemization is concerned. Merc Tread's definitely a good buy, but at the same time, his first item is going to be so incredibly delayed compared to what Aja is going to have, where he was really accelerated by those early 2 kills. Again, Woody moving up towards top, and they're
Jak je to pozerat na tým, který si trénoval prohrávat, je relevantní. Není tam ani jeden hráč, kterýho jsem trénoval. Kdyby tam třeba byli 2 hráči, který jsem trénoval, tak by mi to vadilo. A bylo by takový jako, že jsem jako smutný. Ale já tam reálně nikoho netrénoval a tak, víš, tak je to Kvef, okay. Dobře, ten Woody fakt krásně flankuje. Tady je dobrý Freeman ult, ale nemají damage asi? Nemají damage. Ten Alistar hraje fakt pěkně s těma flankama, kámo. Woody, ten hraje... Woody a Azhi jsou fakt good tuhle hru. Nebo tuhle sérii. Krásný flank, jo, zase prostě úplně krásný flank odsáď. A potom najde junglera a potom ještě v fightu dá zase kvéčko na 2 lidi.
Picks him off, knocks him into the team, even when River flashes out. Aja had held the equalizer to drop over the wall to guarantee that kill. It's a brilliant engage from PSG. Out of fog, there he goes.
Bam, a pak sleduj. Pak ho ještě stune znova. Tady je blbý, že tady dávají Freeman, jako tady to Rumble na inti, jo. A Alistar zase kvéčko na 2 lidi. Woody dává dvojitý véčko směrem na airport. Ach jo, never gets old, kámo. Never gets old.
Maple's hitting, Arja's hitting, Woody's hitting. There's so much CC to go around, everyone gets a pile. And now we come back to live, a 3k gold lead, excuse me, a dragon, 4 grubs. PSG, I was worried about how this team was against Pain. I thought Pain, at the start of the series, I'm like, wait, maybe Pain is the better team.
Pain was 1 fight away from beating PSG.
That's right. And then we've developed, haven't we? Even against Mad, they showcased a little bit more. Here against 100 Thieves.
Vladimír je playable v určitých matchupech, ale je to v kompetitivu, ale je to obecně jako... Moc lidí to nehraje, protože to scale je strašně dlouho. Vladimír je jako Lilia, ono to je useless prostě prvních 13 levelů.
PSG is playing the map better, is really punishing to the maximum when there are these mistakes from 100 Thieves. So PSG looking like a really dominant team. They have about a 3,000 gold lead here already, but again, 100 Thieves have no option but to keep fighting.
100 Thieves prohrajou, jedou domů, ano.
There's no sit back and scale. You need to make things happen now when you're looking at a Yone and an Ezreal on the other side that are going to scale to infinity.
At least they're trying to make it happen, and 100 Thieves never saying die is a good thing to say the very least with the game state. PSG are moving into River now.
Pozor. Yone tady má flank, nehlídanej. Špatně flashnutý ten. Tomo neumí flashovat, klasika, a tady je to game over.
And I'm telling you right now, Venison is going to them all.
That one looked personal. He's caught against the wall with no flash at 20% HP. They equalizer him. They use the Yone ult. They use everything and the kitchen sink. Making River wish he still was on PSG.
Oh man, the throwback. He was on the best PSG roster. I had it all prepped out. I had it all scripted, but scripts be damned. PSG are breaking that. Breaking it in half as 100 Thieves try to defend their mid turret, and Tomo sends out everything. Woody was about to die, but he pops the ulti. Turret goes down anyway. And now it's a 4K gold lead as 100 Thieves try to find something off the force, off the side. Ayla jumps in, but Arja is burning down Sniper at the very least. He gets a reset, he gets the kill. PSG only have Betty for the damage now, so they have to run away. 100 Thieves their best chance in this game.
Aatroxing!
A double already. Sniper finding some blood, finding some kills. They're not out of this just yet if they keep getting opportunities like that.
Yeah, Sniper showing up in a big way there. They know they need to get something. They need to find these fights here. They lose that mid lane tier 1, but Sniper is able to come in, get a couple kills for the team. It's a good play from him, but still they are down 3,000 plus gold even off that. You can see the difference in the MasterCard lane economy snapshot. It is massive. It's advantages for PSG entirely across the board. That will have evened out a little bit after kills there from Sniper, who is now ahead of his lane
Aatrox, Sander, Merx.
Still, he's gonna have to do a lot of heavy lifting if they want to have a chance.
Aatrox je dobrý, protože oni mají 4 milíčka a Aatrox je mega dobrý do melee jumpů.
Very far down. You know, he is behind the Sejuani here, not in this really strong position that he wants to be in, and Lilia from behind. You know, you can be very vulnerable to these plays. PSG is just
po tomhle bude losování Swissu, ano. Bude se losovat Swiss. Si asi rychle umyju hlavu, než oni nachystají Swiss, losováníčko, a pak se budeme dělat na losováníčko. A pak dáme Marbles, Marbles o KitKat, kódeček, a potom solo queue, a potom večer v 8 Dale and Dawson.
Macro game, we come back to the map game, and it's PSG again flaunting with it as they pick up the Herald.
And at the end of the day, it's PSG with a much better scaling composition, up 3,000 gold with all the objectives. You know, they're going to be able to get another tower here. They move top. They are controlling vision very well on the map. A Maple on this Yone, he is going to be scaling so much better than the Renekton. And is going to be able to get solo gold on that tower, pushing in the top lane as well. 100 Thieves trying to get something back on that bot side, but Herald dropped mid. That means tier 2 is gone. Question is only can they even defend the tier 3?
And now they all have to move for mid because you see Arja moves back into position, defends bot. PSG not overstaying their
welcome. Boeing 737, 100 Thieves, čekáme vás už na palubě.
Matters, but only if he can find a target as Woody disengages and gets out of those infernal chains. So mid stays standing, but the damage means it's a breath away.
Já se snapím potom, jo, budeme potom dělat společně. Já mu pak napíšu. Vlastně já to plánuju mu napsat potom na nějaký zajímavější zápasy, že odkomentujeme spolu. Woody Airlines zajistí clean let 100 Thieves až do LA.
Just again, great macro play here from PSG. This really is their hallmark. They are not one of those teams that is just going to scrap at every turn. They're going to be able to play really intelligently around the map when they take a fight.
It's only going to be one that is on their terms that they are feeling confident that they will win. Velice subjektivní, co těm hráčům řekneš.
I mean, Maple's map play is, I think, the thing that always brings it together. It has so far in the playing stage. He's been
absolutely. And I mean, when Maple is able to win lanes, that's just the cherry on top. Because this guy really made his career on the map play, on how intelligently he moves around. You can see Ezreal's coming bot. They're going to try to defend.
They get the satchel charge, which gets the turret down, but Arja's not hit by the little swirl seed, so he walks away. 100 Thieves get themselves a turret.
And this is, again, you know, Maple pushing in top, you know, getting that
My mom asked me if they did the dishes. I said 100 Thieves. She smiled. She knew they were washed.
Ahead here.
to jako ten joke nefunguje na 100 Thieves, tam reálně jediný, kdo je starý hráč, je River. To je jediný hráč, který není jako mladěch.
And it's only going to get harder and harder and harder to deal with this Ezreal as he's leveling up, as he's grabbing more items. You know, you kind of need to deal with him. You can't really ignore this guy whatsoever in a team fight, but the soul laners are going to be a really big issue as well.
So let's highlight where the next chance stands for 100 Thieves to keep their
Co bez za koop hry? To není koop s Herdinem, s Heisenem, s Lagerem, to je koop prostě se streamerama na Dale and Dawson, na tu office hru.
Yeah, and this is the big question is, you know, Ezreal has 2 items and is on a huge power spike, but 100 Thieves have to weigh that against the fact that they are just getting more and more outscaled. So even though it is only a Chemtech soul, I think they are going to try to drive their line in the sand here and put their world's lives on the line with this fight. If you lose this fight, if they get to soul point, get even more of a gold lead.
Teď záleží, jestli to 100 Thieves chcou urychlit a budou fightit toho draka, nebo budou crossmapovat. Pokud fakt chcou rychle jet domů do Ameriky, tak teď tenhle ten drak budou fightit a contestit. Pokud ne, tak by běželi na top lane a snažili se zabít Jonáše.
North America in both
jako crossmap by tady měli udělat, hej.
Maple trying to make that happen now, but onto Quid, he doesn't get the fate sealed. Just some damage out as the soul unbound gets him to half HP. Quid is the one who has
ještě teďka, oni to fightí. Oni to fakt fightí. Wow, oni chcou jít domů. Oni chtějí fast domů. To ti říkám rovnou. Tohle je disaster.
They pick apart the pieces, and Sniper, the member who's trying to keep them breathing, has run out of oxygen.
That blast cone just destroyed 100 Thieves. They tried to find that flank, and now Aja spotted Quid. He's gonna get cooked.
He's gonna get destroyed. I know what I'm having for dinner tonight. It's gonna be snappy as Quid runs for his life down.
Poslední
He's got
varování.
nowhere to go.
Let 02 směr Amerika. U dračího pitu odlet a za 2 hodiny. Ten je good, to je zkombinovaná in-game věc, in-game knowledge s memískem a ještě s 0-2 skorem. To je dobré. To je dobrý vtip.
Yeah, I mean, they lose the dragon, they lose the fight, they lose the mid-tier 2. Even after that, PSG got everything. Just dismantle that play there from 100 Thieves. They felt they needed to try to send it. Maple up on that top side, spent his ultimate.
Kdo bude dneska se soutěžit v točce? Marbles? Dáme po té hře Marbles? Po slosování Swiss Stage dáme Marbles? Po KitKat Code.
You know, Sniper over the wall, so his ultimate expires.
Nepotřebujete mít suba, nepotřebujete mít ani tu hru, stačí prostě potom napsat vykřičník play a jste ve hře.
His target selection has been beautiful, and PSG have all been instantly following up.
Točka zadu na losuje na Worlds Finals.
Everyone is there to do their part to burst down the member that Woody zeroes out.
And we're finally getting the Junja that as well, you know, isn't just caught out, you know, in movement.
Tanoušek, děkuji za kilečko.
Tanoušek donate 100 korun český. Papana. Třeba za rok s Aldou HAH.
Děkuji za kilečko, Tanoušku, děkuji.
They hover around the top side. They look for this top side turret. A dive underneath for Quid just to enable that inner to drop down. Is getting close to what he's
nebojí toho.
No!
To je bude dead. A pak bude fight. Musí zabít Aatroxa, jinak Aatrox. Grillík. Maple. Škoda, že to nedávno vzal Aatrox, ten shutdown.
Yeah, they do get a pick there. 100 Thieves, they know they just have to keep forcing
Chudák
here.
Flygun věřil 100 Thieves.
Back in this game to 5,000 gold lead though for PSG. So even though they do trade up, they get 2 kills for 1. They get that shutdown. I think we're getting a farm shutdown on Maple. Tomo, so that is some slight hope for them. But PSG can just play towards
Rosman, děkuji za 4, děkuji. Čet, vy jste fany dneska, co se vám stalo? Ty jsi tak fany dneska. Vysvětlení. Bys musel znát Melicharův lore.
Betty, like, you know, and try to one-shot him with the Zigzal, but it's so tough because you have to think it's like okay, how is this going to happen? Maybe you get River hits him
Nej,
with a
prohrává
seed,
equals dobrá nálada, equals good jokes.
you can get him with a stun and then burst him down, but it's like it has to be this series of events to really ever imagine Betty getting fully caught out and burst down.
Still trying to realize or wonder if River's used the Lilting Lullaby yet. Maybe we've seen one.
I haven't seen it, but like it could have been used, you know, on a skirmish that was kind of on a pick off side. You know, maybe it was used on Maple there, for example. But you know, definitely not any big impactful ones. But any means, when we think of Lilia, you do think about those like Q flash on 3-4 members and a big sleep to set up a fight.
Hej, jako, když by to tady naintil Jonáš, fakt hodně, když by Maple to naintil a Aatrox dostal reset, tak je to winnable. Ale je to fakt jako malá šance, hodně malá šance. Maple totiž není internou.
I'm just saying. Oh man, your Lilias. Next tier. But in this game, that's what it has to be, doesn't it? It has to be next tier for River. It has to be the carry that we talked about being so crucial for 100 Thieves. It's been a massive year for them. Obviously not MSI, but it's been a massive year, this split. Being able to do the unthinkable. The 3rd seed. You have high expectations when you're part of this major region, and here against PSG, they're struggling to move towards Baron. 56 the Dragon. If PSG look to pivot and try and take Sol.
And I think it's so incredible that they're having this strong year, especially after what last year was. It's such a bounce back year, because last year PSG got knocked out in both plans at MSI and at Worlds, and then to come back and have such a strong performance here. You know, in an era where I think a lot of people were saying, well, the time of Maple, the time of the PCS.
Wow, zase. Woody je too good. Woody je too good. Aatrox! Aatrox sync! A on nedostal ten reset. Oh! Rel! Aatrox sync! Reset, Aatrox! On nedostal reset. Kamo mu to došlo, mu došla ultimátka. Jejda. Hej, ten Ezreal to zahrál mega dobře. To vypadlo sus.
The soul unbound, the flash will get him to safety, but Betty, triple kill there, barely survives. They're gonna get soul and PSG, that may just have secured it.
Rivers chasing down.
A netrefil to. Netrefil to. A trochu to inti tej PSG.
As they move back to Dragon, Betty can hit from over the wall.
Zbytečně.
Can help them secure it. Now River, as he walks in, wants the steal. It's a little cartwheel to move forward, but it's not enough.
Jsou moc confident, víš, jsou taky koky. Hrajou to jako montáž.
It's desperation hours, right? They know if you give up the soul, you really have no chance. You're already so far behind.
Teď si uvědomí, že by to možná ještě mohli frownout, tak to začnou hrát normálně.
Any play the 100 Thieves go for is likely to look bad at this point, but again.
Tady se divím, že nezabili Liliu, oni byli trošku splitnutí, tady jako River měl jít do toho, do Lilie. Teda Sejuani. Tady škoda, že tady to zóně bylo huge. A tady škoda, že Eyla tady byl tak pozdě s tou ultimátkou. A tady se mu neresetnul ult. A tady by vyhráli 100 Thieves by the way, kdyby Rel trošku tam byla dřív a kdyby tam dostal reset Aatrox.
And you can hear the disappointment in the voice, obviously, you know, trying to stay positive in these situations. You have to try to look for those 2% odds, those 1% odds, whatever there is for you to grab. You got to try to reach out and grab it in these situations. But Betty said he was going to be a problem in late game, and late game it feels like has arrived early, as he's already on 3.5 items because he has 8 kills. We're 28 minutes in. This guy is a monster. And he has double summoners for the next fight, which is just going to make it that much more impossible to deal with.
And they're just going to start up Baron right into the pit now. And as Betty hits away, River needs to move towards his former comrade, who's also on top of the Baron. Maple starts chunking it away, and River's way too far away as Woody turns it for an engaged. Baron goes down. A fate sealed over to Ayla's Fate of Worlds. Betty with his 9th, and PSG are going to start running rings
Jeden z mála streamerů, kde se nedíváš každých 5 minut na reklamy. Já mám vyplý reklamy.
Dominating this series, start to finish, it feels like this one a little bit closer. Last one 20-1. But let's be honest, this one really hasn't ever felt that close because of the compositional advantages, because of how even they kept in the early stages. The advantages they took were pretty strong even from there.
Přicházím o potenciální extra cash, ale lepší viewer experience. To je kurva. Tady až díky za 11, děkuju.
2.5k starts off our Red Bull Baron power play as those waves start crashing in. Not much standing gold outside of the bases. It is just that inner turret in the bot side.
To má každý vyplý, ne? Teď se pár týdnů zpátky se o tom bavili kluci, že mají hrozně moc reklam. Protože je prostě období, kdy máš hodně z reklam a období, kdy nemáš moc z reklam. No, záleží, jaký reklamy jsou. Rumble tam potom půjde zaútit. Wow. Rally level 9. Wow. Kadril to dává vždy před zápasem, no Kadril farmí reklamy, no. Ten má hodně peněz reklam. Dají ho, 1000 goldů, ale tady to vygrilujou, ne, potom.
Sweet spot from Sniper. They tried, they fought. North America though, history is calling out to you.
Pokud streameři zapínají reklamy, tak mají to nastavené, aby reklamy se pouštěly, hej. Oni to zapínají, aby se nepouštěly jako random, ale každých 30 minut musí pustit reklamy. No, je to poprvé, co se NA dostalo z playinu. Oni říkali tu statistiku, to se mi nějak nezdá, ne? To se mi nějak nezdá. Oni, podle mě NA se víckrát nedostalo z playinu. No, přiletěli na dlouhou dobu s 100 Thieves. Škoda. Já jsem chtěl nějaký 100 Thieves, já jsem chtěl nějaký EU versus NA, aby se 100 Thieves kvalifikovali a hráli proti evropskému týmu. To by bylo po piči, to by byla sranda. Teď se těším na Swiss, bude slosování Swiss stage a těším se strašně moc na to. Fakt doufám, že FlyQuest chytnou G2 anebo Fnatic. Reálně fakt jako doufám, protože Vipo flamil celou Evropu, že to je dog shit region. Tak jsem zvědavý, co bude, jak bude hrát FlyQuest, když chytnou ty vole G2 nebo Fnatic. Čet, já se asi jdu rychle umýt vlasy, protože mě strašně triggeruje, jak mám ty vlasy kudrnatý a dlouhý. A lezou mi všude. Saky flaky, díky za 6. Fly nedostane G2, jsou stejný seed, jo, ale je to pravda, no. Oni stejnak než, já si to vlasy umiju dřív, než oni začnou vůbec dělat svůj
Yeah, bright future for a lot of those players for their first time making it to an international event here.
Face teams from pool 3.
Takže oni se můžou takhle drafnout, 1, 4 a 2, 3. Billy můžou draftnout tyhle 4 týmy, Hanva, FlyQuest, G2. A tady jako Fnatic, tohle vypadá hrozně složitě, ale to hrozně jednoduchý format. To je kurva. Fotbalek, 5 gifty! A Twitch 1, let's go! To je kurva. Ale já přísahám, že za posledních 500 subů mi Twitch dal jenom jeden sub. Nemám je rád ten Twitch. Ale fotbalku děkuju. Za to investiční poradenství, jakože za ty tipy, nebo za co? Hej, my máme 1300 subů, let's go! Aha, to draw je nějaká žena. Ještě, že to není ode mne, honestly. Jako straight up, honestly. Hanva, OK. Druhý nejlepší korejský tým. Kdo bude proti druhému nejlepšímu korejskému týmu? FlyQuest?
It is FlyQuest from the LCS.
Oni jsou, ale to, oni nemůžou být proti Hanvě, oni první draftou ty... Ne? Oni prvně dravou tu půl 1 a pak teprve budou mačovat z toho půl 4. To není Fly versus Hanva, nebojte. Už je Pedro alert, jo, za 499, já to musím napsat pod to. Tak hodně nás bude zajímat, kdo bude druhý a třetí vylosovaný z toho druhého bracketu.
That's us. Matchup I'm probably most excited for from pool 1 and pool 4 is like a Mad Lions versus Fly Quest.
It is Philly Gaming Dream Smart from the LPL.
Love me some Western rivalry.
Oni je tam pustili na schvál? Že jsou slyšet, nebo?
Honestly, we say this, but like that's Swiss, right? Like the amount of
protože oni mluví přes tu komentátorku.
It ramps up, but ultimately you're never safe. Like, regardless of the start.
I mean, at least the good news is you can't get any rematches when you get into the second round, right? So you just kind of pull
to zní, kdyby tam neměli být slyšet.
We cannot interact with you ever again. So maybe that works out better.
All right. Come on, this is where it begins, guys.
Is it Mad Lions?
Oh! Yes. It is PSG talent.
Papa. Papa PSG, papa.
They were promised in the beginning coming into this.
Ale PSG jsou jako Asian killery. PSG většinou, Gam a PSG většinou hrajou dobře proti těm. Ale jakože... Gam proti FlyQuest. Lul. Gam proti FlyQuest. XDD. Kdo bude proti G2? Ne, FlyQuest neprohrál proti Gam, to nejde ani podle mě. Pain Gaming proti G2.
So then,
the schedule comes back up, but the matchup.
So then, FlyQuest was the last one, right? So it's Mad Fly.
Oh.
Wait, you might be right, yeah.
That would be great.
It's Mad Fly.
Mad Lions Fly? Co? To je blbost, ne?
Oh my god, let's get it in the actual group.
Look at this.
No, wait.
Co, oni jsou, oni...
Flyer versus Gam.
Co smokujou? Dej webku jinam a kam?
Team Liquid Honda and Fnatic.
Tak, teď si Fnatic. Budeme se modlit, ať Fnatic mají i jednoduchýho pamata.
Genji being pool 2.
Yeah, something doesn't add up here. What are you guys doing here?
I mean, look, same with top, but
Test, okay.
There we go.
Nejlepší.
That's the thing, says a lot about the strength.
Druhý, třetí, když vylosou Fnatic, tak feelují, že budou mít jako dobrýho oponenta.
But it's also just the top two from both
Druhý,
LPL and
třetí.
LCK look absolutely insane. Top esports looking the strongest out of the LPL for the majority of the year, despite the fact BLG were there, so I think it is going to be
Okay. Třetí Fnatic pome.
Honestly, going into the finals, this was going to be the expected pool 1 team. Team Liquid.
Jestli budou čtvrtí, tak...
As a reminder, that was the one where the minions was the
nebo jaká je to reálně jedno, až do té druhé sklenice. Čekáme na tu druhou sklenici, OK. Filuju to, good, filuju to, good. Filuju to. Co tam je za týmy? No tady bude Genji a teďka, co je v tom třetím?
You're so good at this.
Thank you.
Ukažte ty týmy.
Top eSport TL, Fnatic.
Damwon, T1, Weibo, LNG. Ty pičo, tak to ne. Pane bože. Pane bože, co to je za skupinu? Ty pičo. Ty vole. No tak Damwon asi chcem, hej? Reálně, nebo já nevím, kámo. Ty vole, tohle je Doom skupina. To je Doom skupina, no nic, 0-1, pak v 0-1 budem doufat, že Fnatic dostanou dobrý tým. LNG. Hej, podle mě reálně T1 nebo Damwon jsou nejjednodušší tady. Scout bude hrát na World. Reálně je to fuk. No, jako není, ale je. 0-1, pokud budou... OK. Teď, kdo bude takže dám von nebo... Weibo. Weibo by mohli porazit Fnatic, ne? Weibo. Weibo. Yeah, Weibo, let's go. Moment. To snad daj, ne, Fnatic.
Tarzan looks pretty scary. No.
Nedají.
A lot of emotions today.
Potom se pak se bude losovat, když Fnatic budou 1-0 nebo 0-1, tak se bude losovat, koho dostanou potom.
T1 TS, Team Liquid RNG, Fnatic DK,
Weibo byli druzí v Summer Splitu. Jaký je roster Weiba? Fnatic versus DK, to je reálně taky poho.
Thank you, Jisan.
Tady, hej, tak a potom ve čtvrtek se hraje Swiss Stage. A potom podle toho, jestli Fnatic budou 1-0 a G2 1-0 nebo 0-1, tak se získají oponenta, který bude taky 1-0 nebo 0-1.